Hello everyone, happy Sunday, hope you're doing well. I'm still recovering a little bit from my illness, so might be a little bit slower today, but I'm on the recovery. We're doing alright. How's everyone? Hope you're having a good weekend so far. I was originally planning on having a patron-only live show today after the normal stream, but again, as I'm still kind of working on feeling better, recovering, you can tell I'm not as bad as I was the other day, but you know, I'm still seepy, and I'm still throat not feeling good, and I can only talk at length for so long before it's gonna get really, really irritating to my sick throat. So, we're gonna do the patron-only live stream next Sunday. Thank you for your patience regarding that. I appreciate it. So how's everyone doing? Hey, Just a Peach. Hey, Corax. How's it going? Phoenix 2250, what's up? Let's see. Lilac Rosenberg with a TikTok says this guy just wanted to kiss girl as girl. Now he's thinking about his gender. Take a look at that in a sec. Unstable Deadbeat with 18 months says it's my second sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Francois Truffaut. Ash the Poetic Fox, thanks for 46 months, says, hi Hannah, excited for today. I love Sovcit shit. Sovereign Citizen stuff is one of the more divisive things I do, because there are plenty of people who are pretty lukewarm on some of the topics, but like maybe they hang out because, you know, they like chat or they think I'm funny or whatever. Sovereign Citizens, it feels like you either think they're hilarious or you hate them and find them obnoxious and you think the coverage of them is overdone. So not a ton of middle ground there, or at least the middle ground is not as loud as the extremes in my opinion, or in my experience rather. So anyway, we have a bunch of stuff to take a look at today. I forgot that the way that Twitch works, I have a Twitch Partner Plus, but there's 2 tiers of it, and as of January, I got knocked from the 2nd tier to the 1st tier. Sad face. So if you want to help me get back up to the 2nd tier of Twitch Partner Plus, become a subscriber here on Twitch. It can't be gift subs. Gift subs are great, and I always welcome them. But if you want to help me get up to the 2nd tier of Partner Plus, just use a subscription. And it can't be a Prime subscription. It has to be like a full subscription. I understand that's a lot, so I don't expect it of anyone. But if anyone wants to support the channel, that helps. Because I basically got a 20% pay reduction from Twitch as of January. Because of how that works, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. Amber says, this is a PSA. You should all go watch Creature Commandos. I've heard it's great. It's on my list. I'm gonna watch it. All right, so yeah, with all that stuff out of the way, let's just jump into it. We have some car stops, we have some court stuff, and we have some Marcel, amongst other things. So let's get into it.
I'm Deputy Foreman with the Sheriff's Office. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
You got all your dogs with you, huh?
Yeah.
The reason why I stopped you at that 4-way intersection, you have to stop behind that white bar before you proceed through the intersection. Do you have your driver's license on you?
No.
No?
I don't.
Do you have a driver's license?
I'm traveling.
Okay.
Oh wow, that was one of the first things he said. That's impressive.
Where's your ID then?
I don't have an ID.
Okay. What about some form of identification, so I can figure out who you are?
I'm Jason.
Okay.
I don't know. A sovereign citizen.
Okay.
Happy belated birthday, Janerty. I hope you enjoy your Baldur's Gate 3. I heard it's great. I haven't played it yet. I plan on it eventually, but I wish you adventure.
You don't need a driver's license to travel.
Okay, what about the registration?
This is in my friend's name.
Okay, will you grab that for me?
Oh no, is it his friend's car? Is he about to get his friend's car towed? Definitely seems like Florida man.
Who's the vehicle registered to?
Nina.
And who's that to you?
She's a friend of mine.
Okay. Are you staying at that residence that this is registered to?
I'm glad you made it live, Maximum Austin.
Mine, that's 3 houses down, yes.
Okay.
We live on the same street. This is her address. Mine is 21455.
Okay.
Yes.
Are these your dogs?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their names?
This is Benjamin, and that's Zoe.
Benjamin and Zoe. Lots of paperwork, huh?
Yeah.
don't want to drive around without a shirt on. Like, even minus all of the social implications of that because breasts. Like, I don't know. And I know this is, like, not rational. I know that, like, it's not a leather jacket, and that if I get somehow ejected from a car, my shirt's not going to help me. But for some reason, I don't know, I'd feel uncomfortable. I'd feel much less secure being in a car, shirtless. It's like driving without shoes. Not a fan of that either. I don't get it.
Do you use her vehicle often?
No.
No? Okay. So you probably wouldn't even know where the insurance or anything is, huh?
I was just going up there to get gas for my lawn. Oh, here, I seen insurance, so that's insurance.
Can I see that? Thanks.
Ah,
There we go.
there it is.
I mean, it's perfect.
Okay, I can't let that pass. Trey, you like driving without shoes. This is you're my friend, but this is the biggest flaw I think I've ever seen in you. Why do you like to drive without shoes? You just like the rubbery feel of the pedal on your foot? Like why?
2020, but I'll take that though.
I don't even no. You gotta be no.
That'll do the job still. I'll see if it's registered.
I had this feeling. It's like, I know a lot of cops about just gas stations.
What's your first name? Jason, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
How long you been in Florida?
You don't like shoes in general? I understand not liking shoes. Shoes aren't necessarily comfortable. But I don't like barefoot either. I'm a sock person. I'm big on socks. The ideal state of the foot is to have on really comfy socks.
5 years?
5 years? What do you do for it? Construction?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
assume? Things like that?
Paint, and I have a landscape business. I do on those sides, on weekends.
Have you been stopped by law enforcement before?
Not since I'm a sovereign citizen, no. But yes, I have.
Oh, he called himself a sovereign citizen. That's rare these days. They don't normally self-identify with that title.
Oh, it's...
Did I get any subpoenas from Polte for Christmas? I didn't. Is he subpoenaing people? Did you get a subpoena from Polte, Corax? I hope not. But no, I did not receive any sort of subpoena.
Since I've been a sovereign, a year. I would say 5 years ago I got stopped when I first...
You did in the Brandon Jones case? Well, that's pretty funny. Like what? Do you have to like go get do you have to get deposed or something? I mean, I guess you can message me. I understand if you don't want to like message it in YouTube chat, though maybe you've talked about it on your channel already. No, I didn't get anything. That'd be you know, part of me would have loved to have just to be nominated, really.
First moved down here and started driving around, obviously without a license.
Yeah.
And so now I know that I can't get a license, so I'm a sovereign citizen now.
Okay.
I'm traveling, I'm not conducting commerce.
Okay. So, you had been issued a license in Florida before?
No.
Never. You don't have a number.
I'll have to check out. Did you have a specific video where you talked about it? Or was it just within like a stream or something? Either way, I'll have to check it out. That's interesting.
I had an ID.
Right, okay. So you have a Florida ID number with the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Wait, I've been reading other things. Why is chat so anti-sock? Socks are comfortable.
Yes, I did.
Gotcha. Where did you move from?
Ohio.
Ohio?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that?
I said I should probably wait. You don't smoke.
Okay. Give me 1 second, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, will you step out and talk to us real quick?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No, I know where it
No, I
came
don't
from.
feel comfortable.
I'm just saying you should enjoy socks.
Okay, listen, let me explain something to you.
Yes, sir.
I'll be as cordial, as respectful, as humanly possible. Alright? When we give you a lawful order, I don't care what your beliefs are. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now. When we give you a lawful order, you must comply with the lawful order, or you will be arrested. That is that. That's as far as I'm gonna come out with it. I understand what your beliefs are. I understand it. Whatever you want to believe in, I get it. But I'm telling
Any chiller Glenn updates? I do have a video from Glenn today. He's still out doing his thing. Nothing in particular from Delete Laws. He just does the same thing he used to do. I think he gets a little less bold, but even I don't watch him as much anymore, because I think he got a little less interesting. And maybe I'm wrong, because again, I haven't watched him intently for a while, but I check in on Jose Chili de Castro every once in a while. Seems like he basically did what he used to, but less often, meaning he spends a lot of his time looking at other people's videos and reacting to them. Or when he does actually talk with the cops, he's less confrontational. My wife is also anti-sock. Yes, I know. It's truly a great strife. The sock sectarianism taking place within my household is it's something.
On you, it is not going to work in your advantage.
The newest Best to the Worst episode from today is a Very Merry Pissmas episode. Wow, they came out with their Christmas episode late. That's funny. I saw Dan Olson put out a new video too. I haven't watched it yet.
And I'm going to...
I know it's something about the Creation Museum or creationism. He told me what it was. I was actually excited because, like, I got to know what his next video was about before a lot of other people. I asked him when we were setting up, like, the interview and talking a little behind the scenes. So I gotta check it out.
Politely, again, request that you get out of this vehicle.
Feel safe.
Read the DeWitt sentencing and charging docs. I know Blue Bacon did.
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Put your money back.
Felicity Vale, thanks for
Do you have anybody
following.
living with you at your house?
Yes. Can you grab my phone, please? You're back, Benjamin.
Now you're going to get charged with obstruction because you failed to listen to a lawful command.
A lot of nipple.
See? And it could have just been
A lot of man
probably a criminal citation where you get a court date and you don't go to jail, but I gave you the opportunity, right? Gave you the opportunity. But now we have to add more to it. All because of some probably silliness that you're believing in. Because you watch YouTube. And I'm telling you, YouTube is not correct. So now you gotta deal with more consequences.
Who lives at your residence?
Cassidy. That's down.
Is that their name in your phone?
Yeah.
Will you tell her to come get your
Call
dogs,
your
please?
supervisor, please.
He's at the office.
Can he come on here, please? Hey, can you come and get the car and the dogs? They're gonna arrest me. I'm on the corner of Normandy Street.
Normandy,
I'm on
yeah,
speaker.
I don't know where Normandy is. Can you send me an address?
Alright, come on.
Can we have your supervisor come out here, please?
He's not gonna come out here right now.
It's always interesting when they ask for a supervisor, thinking it's going to be a different answer. I like the idea that there's two sets of laws, though, secretly, like a normal set of laws, but then like a super secret set that if you ask for a manager, like how there's a secret menu at McDonald's, like I'd like can you combine a McChicken and a McDouble and give me diarrhea? That, but like with cops.
I get you requesting it, I'll give him a notification that you are requesting it, and I'll see if he'll be willing.
There's legal and lawful law.
Sir?
It's not the law.
There's a big difference between lawful and all the way lawful.
Zero law. See, I don't know where you think these laws are coming from. Like,
Yes, everyone, big F to pay respects. Our boy, the Void Boy, who's been in the office and has been a lovely streaming partner for me lately. He is getting his testicles removed on Tuesday. The little kitty that we've been holding on to, he will be neutered on Thursday. So R.I.P. that cat's testicles. Felicity Thel, thanks for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. Unstable Deadbeat says, why wouldn't the supervisor just tell the other officers the real laws before they leave the station? Seems like an inefficient system, right? Doesn't it?
you're influenced by YouTube.
No, sir.
Yes, you are.
I read the Constitution.
Okay.
I read the Constitution. I find it really hard to believe that you read the Constitution independently in completion and somehow came up with the same sovereign citizen bullshit as everyone else.
Okay. All right. What is?
Fixing him will be for the best long run health-wise. Oh, I know. I'm joking. It's obviously the right thing to do, and it's like, yeah. Just funny. Just funny. If anything, I'm jealous. I wish someone would offer to cut my testicles off. Oh,
Constitution then.
I'm glad you made a Twitch account. Thank you very much, Felicity.
What do you mean?
What is it?
It's the
Tell me.
Constitution for our rights.
Okay, so what are your rights?
It's a right to travel.
The right to travel, okay,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
On Florida roadways and highways with the obligation of having a valid license, yes?
No, that's when you're a sovereign citizen.
Oh,
If you
so
have-
you're...
No, we don't have 4 cats now. There's an event later in the month after he gets neutered that we're going to take him to that's like an adoption thing, so hopefully he'll get adopted. Don't get me wrong, I love the boy. He's so sweet and nice, and I hope he finds a wonderful home, but we can't take care of 4 cats in the house we have. We don't have the room.
You're a sovereign
travel.
citizen.
Like, I get why people make the joke. I do. But
So you're a
seriously,
sovereign citizen.
we're not. We're just basically fostering him until we can find him a forever home.
Yes, that's what I was
Okay.
explaining.
Well,
to her.
welcome,
If you're-
sovereign citizen, to the laws of the state of Florida, where you need a valid Florida license to operate a motor vehicle in the state of Florida.
Yeah, the fact that he said, I read the Constitution, I have a right to travel is kind of funny, because, like, your right to travel comes from Supreme Court decisions that, like, read that into the Constitution, but it doesn't literally, like, it's not in the Bill of Rights, right to travel, right? It's more a result of the fact that you need to have equal protection under the law everywhere in the country, and you can't be treated differently in different states.
Florida roadways and highways. I'm sorry you don't believe in that. Like I said, it's nothing against you. It's your beliefs. But I'm telling you, you're about to find out how the laws work.
I understand that.
Well, if you would understand, then you would understand that you need a license. But you don't want to go get a license because your stuff is suspended in whatever, Ohio.
And I've tried.
Okay, well, you need to reinstate your license in Ohio and get it fixed so you can get a
Come on,
license
Slaw.
in Florida.
That's why I'm doing the sovereign citizen. I haven't
Well, I'm
received
telling
my
you that
passport.
That's why I'm doing the Sovereign Citizen.
the sovereign,
I think we need to come up with a dance and name it the Sovereign Citizen.
the sovereign citizen thing is not going to work. I'm telling you. Hey, but you don't have to believe me. I've been doing this 7 years. It's not going to work. Have a seat, please. I'll see where my corporal is, if he is willing to come out here. If not, he can give you a phone call at the jail. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, I'm sorry. So he's going for obstruction and
Yes.
he resisted?
Well, so when he doesn't have a valid license, right? So when we tell someone to get out of the motor vehicle and they refuse to because of their beliefs, whatever their beliefs are, I understand it, but it's a law. I'm requesting you remove from a vehicle. He refused to do so. When I have to open the door and get him out myself,
Yes, yeah.
you're getting charged with obstruction. That's just the way it is. I didn't want to do that to him. I did everything I could respectfully to get him out of the car. But it's whatever he wants to believe in, YouTube or whatever his amendment rights are. I can't stop someone from believing in what they want to believe in, but I'm telling you that you're going to go to
rules
jail.
are rule, yeah.
It's the rules. I'm sorry that you don't like the rules,
Can I
but
say anything to him for a second? Or?
yeah, if you like to.
Yeah.
Your dog's going to stay in the car?
Yeah,
Okay.
Are you gonna bail me out?
That's a good question, Captain Rachel. A lot of the Sovereign Citizen stuff, like, I wish I had, like, a one sheet for you, you know? Or, like, a pamphlet. I can see if I can maybe try and find a pamphlet. A lot of the Sovereign Citizen stuff is, like, pretty unwieldy. Like, a lot of it's in these, like, you know, at least novella size, like, things that they'll self-publish or whatever. But I could maybe find a pamphlet for you. I'd have to do a little searching. But I could find something that maybe is, like, worksheet level, you know.
I guess so. I mean, you
Be
better
able
be
to edit it if I find something decent but need cuts. Okay, I'll look around, and see if I can find something.
paying me back, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the lawyer now. 'Cause
Let me actually write that down so I don't forget. I need to start writing things down more. The thing with my ADHD. We're gonna do a list. Here are 2 things on my list right now. First, find Sovsit pamphlet, Captain Rachel. And then Japanese VHS, because I gotta rip all those. There. Now I have a list.
Well,
I know.
Yeah. You're welcome on that.
Here, talk to you.
Hi there.
Hello.
Corporal Diaz, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. What can I do for you?
I'm being arrested for traveling on the road, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all have a right to travel, but I don't.
And
You're right. You have the right to travel,
But I have to get a driver's
but when
license.
you're traveling in the streets of Florida,
Yes,
million
sir.
channels.
have to-
You know what? This is good. Is there anything else, chat, that I've been shitty ADHDing and like I'm like I'll do it, but then I never do it? I will write it down right now, and I will through the next week because I don't have any shifts next week at my job. I don't think, at least. So all I have is like streaming and stuff, so I can get stuff done this week. Bingo. Thank you. Million panel points. Anything else? I think that's the stuff. Chili's trifold. No, Chili's trifold, actually, some of it's bullshit. Some of it has good advice. Some of it's basic stuff like don't give up more information to the cop than you need to. His stuff isn't so much on the sovereign citizen side, although he has espoused sovereign citizen beliefs before. His actual literature that he puts out is mostly not that. Some of the information is decent stuff about actual civil rights. Some of it's incorrect, but it's not full-on Sovsit stuff. Kiss my wife. Can do. Chair on list? That's already done. I already put chairs on my wish list, actually. I did that the last day I said I was going to do it. Hannah, you promised to give me your credit card number and social security number, but you keep forgetting. Joke's on you. You would not be getting anything of value there, I promise. Yeah, I'll go take my social security number and go try and get a loan right now. I'll wait outside. I'll watch through the window of the credit union and laugh. Do it. New costumes. Costume poll. Costume poll for new costumes. Okay. Alright. Cool beans. Those will be my projects for the next week.
To have a license.
Okay.
So that is the law. Whether you agree to it or not, that's not for us to discuss. Okay? Our job is just to enforce state laws, and state law says that you have to have a driver's license.
Okay.
That is it.
Even if you're traveling and not
Even if you're traveling.
Commerce.
Even if you're traveling.
Okay.
So you can research it. State of Florida is very simple. You have to have a Florida driver's license to drive a car, or a driver's license from another state to operate a motor vehicle on any roads in the state of Florida, or any states.
Okay.
Is there anything else I could do for you?
Yes, sir.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Hang on tight, okay?
Yes, sir.
That guy seems pretty new with the sovereign citizen stuff, so I'm gonna hold out hope that, like, he might be able to have it explained to him that, like, hey, this isn't gonna work, don't do that. So Marcel reacted to one of my videos. Marcel did a video about me. We're not gonna watch most of it right now because, oh boy, the number of slurs in this video! The number of slurs in this video directed at me and you, and by you I mean all of chat. It's a lot, but I did want to play this one part that's pretty good. So anyway, here's the one part of this one part of this I can play right now. We might watch the whole thing on like a patron-only live show or a normal stream if I can rip this and bleep it out. We'll see. Anyway, this is the part that's worth it and that we can watch here. See some of these videos. Ashley One Up says Marcel G. Oh, Ashley One Up, good on you for this. He just takes pictures of himself and makes them talk. So let's see some of these videos. Ashley One Up says Marcel GPT. No matter what you ask, the answer is I'm a judge. You're fucked. Hey,
and just for the record, I am a judge, and if you're part of the satanic system within my lifetime, you will be fucked.
You heard it here first. He is a judge, and if we're part of the satanic system, we are gonna be fucked. You got him to say his catchphrase. Unironically, Ashley One Up, you did it. You got him. You got him to say the thing. Say the line, Bart. Judge, you're fucked. Hey,
and just for the record, I am a judge, and if you're part of the satanic system within my lifetime, you will be fucked.
Later in this video, let me be clear. Marcel makes it perfectly clear he will not fuck me, so that's definitely not true. Get your facts straight, Marcel. So we'll watch the rest of that some other time. But there is new AI Marcel. Excuse me. AI Marcel has never called me a slur once. I'll have you know. AI Marcel is a sweetie, okay?
Everyone, and welcome to a brand new year. As we step into this fresh chapter, it's the perfect time to surge ahead with...
I'm very creeped out by how good the AI has gotten, by the way. This is an AI video. This is not real. This is not actually Marcel.
renewed energy and purpose.
Someday, yeah, that's true. The only way we'll be able to tell AI Marcel from real Marcel is which one is yelling slurs at me.
Today, I want to talk about something crucial, how being overly polite can sometimes give permission for evil to thrive. It's a bold statement, but hear me out. When we remain silent or overly polite in the face of wrongdoing, we inadvertently allow it to continue. It's essential to stand firm in our beliefs and speak out against injustice. This year, let's commit to being vocal and proactive in our communities. To empower
His
ourselves
hand
and each
just
other,
phased through his mouth. Yeah, you can occasionally catch stuff clipping.
we're opening study clubs focused on key areas: the Money Club, AI Club, Crypto Club, and
Did I
Bills
hear the Cybertruck Las Vegas guy used Chat GPT to plan it? That's hilarious. Probably why it wasn't very successful.
of Exchange Club.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. Also, if you read, like, that guy was actually, like, genuinely mentally ill. Like, if you read the stuff he had written, surprise, the guy that blew himself up in a truck is not the most mentally stable man in the world.
These clubs are designed to foster knowledge, innovation, and collaboration. Whether you're interested in financial literacy, the latest in artificial intelligence, the world of cryptocurrency, or understanding bills of exchange, there's a place for you. Remember, politicians are always just puppets, no matter how charismatic or well-intentioned they may seem.
You're literally an AI puppet!
It's up to us to stay informed and hold them accountable. Let's not be swayed by appearances, but focus on actions and outcomes. Family, wealth, success, and our God-given rights and freedoms are the pillars of a fulfilling life. At privatelawtrusts.org, we believe in empowering individuals to reclaim these rights and build a prosperous future. Our mission is to support you in achieving financial independence and personal freedom. For more information, visit
It's so funny when it tries to get the
privatelawtrusts.org,
gesticulation.
or reach out to us at privatelawtrusts@outlook.com. We're here to guide you every step of the way. Let's make this year a transformative one. Stand up for what's right, educate yourself, and embrace the opportunities ahead. Together, we can create a brighter future.
Unironically, the AI video has gotten to the point where when I first watched these, I was questioning if it was actually AI until I started looking at it closer and was like, oh yeah, there's a clip, it's clipping, and here's all the mistakes. But my first impression was, did he do an AI voice and then, like, act it out and sort of dub it in reverse? Because, like, I thought the video looked too good at first. But yeah, it's uncanny.
Oh, everyone. As we
Watch his money clip thing here. It's gonna, like, phase through his head, or maybe it's like a cigarette case. I'm not sure.
dive into this new year, it's time to take decisive action.
Right there. Did you see it? Let me go back a little bit. As it passes in like near his face, like the AI doesn't know the layers correctly. It doesn't know what's in front of what. So it's like suddenly in front of, but then it's behind his head and neck. See that? Up into the back, up into the back, up into the back.
Decisive action for your future. With the rapid changes in our world, Agenda 2030, the World Economic Forum's influence, robots taking over jobs, and the looming threat of hyperinflation, it's more crucial than ever to secure your freedom and rights. That's where privatelawtrusts.org comes in. We offer a range of pricing plans designed to fit your needs. Start with our initial minimum gift of just $90, plus a one-time sign-up gift of $1,000 to $5,000.
Oh, sorry, Marcel corrected me on this too. When I said it's overpriced at $90 a month, he corrected me and he said, "You idiot! It's not $90 a month. It's $1,000 up front and then $90 a month." So sorry about that. Me pointing out that $90 a month is a ridiculous amount to pay this man for a grift In fact, I should have pointed out it's even more ridiculous because there's $1,000 before you even get the opportunity to pay him almost $100 a month.
$1,000 depending on the plan you choose. After that, it's only $90, $250, or $500 a month for ongoing mentorship and support. This is a small investment for the immense benefits of a private law society or trust. Freedom isn't just a concept, it's a necessity for individuals, families, businesses, religions, and First Nations. Protecting your body, your own nation, is paramount before any group, religion, or tribe on earth. At privatelawtrusts.org, we empower you to reclaim your rights and secure your future. Sign up by the end of January, and we'll include personal coaching to guide you through the process.
I'm going to point out a bit that I just thought of in my head that I'm not going to do because it's unethical, because it would involve using AI. But it's funny enough to at least explain. The bit would be me finding whatever software he used for this and using it to create an AI Hannah to deal with AI Marcel. But A, I'm not spending money on that, and B, I'm not putting my fucking face into an AI, so...
But hurry, spots are limited, and this opportunity won't last.
So maybe pretend I did that, but in some magical, ethical way.
Long. Enroll now, or risk missing out on securing your freedom. If you're serious about freedom and rights, this is a must.
The problem with AI Hannah is you keep having to hit her with a stick or she won't stop talking about her generated Blu-rays.
Visit www.privatelawtrusts.org or email us at privatelawtrusts@outlook.com to get started. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your future today. Join us at privatelawtrusts.org and be part of a movement that values your freedom and rights. Let's make this year the turning point for your future. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you to our community.
All right, getting away from the horrifying AI, let's take a look at a sovereign citizen we've gotten to know more recently, and that's, quote, Chief Mahto. He's not a real chief. He claims he is. He has basically co-opted indigenous identity. He's not indigenous, to my knowledge. He's not acknowledged by the, was it the Sioux Nation that he claimed to be a part of? They do not acknowledge him. Whichever nation it was he claimed, they do not acknowledge him or his tribe. He made it up. Just some white guy. So anyway, let's take a look at some of his dating advice.
Okay, this message here is for men. All right, this is on dating, men. We have the Mahto Ministries website for dating. Essentially, it's going to be stood up soon. And again, this is going to be another 7 minutes. Just hit the timer. So within this website, you're going to have to pay a big fee if you want access to the, Proverbs 31 virgin brides.
What? I gotta go back a little bit. Did I miss something, or was that as disjointed as I thought it was when he just started talking about virgin brides?
Message here is for men. All right, this is on dating, men. We have the Mahto Ministries website for dating. Essentially, it's going to be stood up soon. And again, this is going to be another 7 minutes. Just hit the timer. So within this website, you're going to have to pay a big fee if you want access to the, Proverbs 31 virgin brides.
So you gotta pay for your dating website to learn how to get a virgin bride?
Okay. You have to
That just feels... What?
be a high net
I'm sorry, I'm not...
worth man. You have to have audited financial statements or proof that that's actually, your net worth. And then they, the females or their fathers, they have to agree to bond. That means...
Wait, are we talking about dating advice, or are you talking about some sort of human trafficking? Sounds like you're talking about human trafficking?
Means that, yes, we agree, to a $100,000 bond to basically reimburse you for your expenses in courting her. That means that you'll pay for whatever she needs if you want to go on dates, if you want to do all this other stuff, because you're being told that she's worthy of your ring. And the standard for that is a virgin Proverbs 31 woman. So assuming that by the time that all works out, yeah, medical stuff's involved. If you don't like it, again, look at all of the cases here in the last 40 years of how men have been taken to the cleaners. And then tell me more about why we should care what you think.
So for those who haven't seen me cover this guy before, I've only covered him a few times. He's relatively new, but he is a sovereign citizen who does all this private law bullshit, but also he is divorced and very angry at his ex-wife. And he's into the red pill stuff. So he's got like a weird mix of a lot of this sovereign citizen ideology with like biblically centered, basically misogynistic worldview, but he's using like biblical verbiage and biblical gesturing towards the Bible to justify his hate for women.
We don't.
Or rather, sorry, his righteous understanding of the Lord's plan to keep women under the authority of their husbands.
So over here, if you get access to that, you're talking to these ladies. There's a portion of that that gets paid to them just to be on the website until such time as they are actually married. But they're not required to marry anybody unless, you know, again, that's done between their father and whomever. But
wait, is he on like a mail order bride site that's like, I don't know if you guys, I don't know who's familiar with 90 Day Fiance? Is anyone else trash like me? Does anyone else familiar with 90 Day Fiance? Anyway, there's a lot of mail order bride sites that are scams. So if he's describing an actual website where you got to pull all this money up and you message with the people, etc., that's usually a scam. A lot of them are run out of like Russia or like the Baltic states, and it's a scam. They're getting money from lonely, desperate like men from the West usually, and scamming them basically through this website for money. This guy getting scammed? Be a little funny. No one should get scammed, but if anyone is going to...
in the Mahto villages, at the Mahto...
You believe he's trying to create his own mail-order bride site because he said the website was going to be under the Chief Mahto name. Okay, because then it sounds like he's trying to create one of those sites, because that's the exact, like, business model of those scam sites.
Tribe, we have marriage contract.
To be clear, there are actual mail-order bride services, which, like, I'm not even going to get into that discussion, but that is, like, a real thing in theory. I'm talking about a lot of these sites are scams that are supposed to look like that and make men from the West think they can pay all this money to, like, import, basically, a wife from another country, but in reality it's a scam.
That are based on scriptural law, not man's law. Because that's...
You think you're talking to Natalia, really you're talking to Stefan? Yeah, usually what happens is they have a bunch of fake profiles, but the profiles are linked to photos of real women. So women that they contract with, usually, models, or just like, you know, pretty young women or whatever, who they think, whose faces can be used to take advantage of men. These days they might use AI more often, but historically it's been, you know, bringing in young girls who, you know, need money, want money, and are willing to lend their appearance to the scam, and then the company will take over and message under the guise of being the women, and then sometimes they'll bring the women in to do, like, meetups with the guy to keep them on the hook, so, like, oh, look, she's a real person, I must be talking to a real person, and video calls, stuff like that. It's pretty messed up. It's an interesting little thing, though. I'd like a documentary about the whole thing. They go into it a little bit in 90 Day Fiancé, but, like, let's be real, that's a trashy TLC reality show. I like it, it's trash, but it's trash I enjoy, but I'd like a more serious documentary that gets into it. It's an interesting topic.
That's our right. So under that, and under our system, if you have a divorce, if she wants...
Wasn't Andrew Tate doing that? I believe he said he was doing that, or at least in one of his videos he mentioned that guys would think they were talking to some of his girls, but they were actually talking to him or some other guys that they had paid to talk to them, yeah.
Divorce, you can do that, but dads automatically get custody. And there's a 12-man, not woman, jury.
Let me go back a little bit. I feel like I missed something in that pause.
At the Mahto tribe.
When's another surreality TV gonna happen? Maybe in the next week. You know what? It has been a while since we've done a new reality show together. Yeah, the last one was that American Idol singing competition thing. Sometime this week.
We have marriage contracts that are based on scriptural law, not man's law, because that's our right.
So he's going to have marriage. Does he think that he can do marriage contracts that don't comport with American law? Oh, he thinks he's a tribe member. He thinks he's tribal. He's not. He's not recognized by any legal entity as being an actual tribe.
So under that and under our system, if you have a divorce, if she wants a divorce, you can do that, but dads automatically get custody. And there's a 12
I think the local family courts will have things to say about that. He thinks he can just set up his own jurisdiction and have his own laws about custody of children?
And not woman, jury. Trial by jury that actually makes the decisions for you guys regarding custody if you cannot do it yourselves. Remember, all...
And he said the jury would be all men, no women. So don't worry, very unbiased.
Contested divorces must...
Didn't he mention the state taking his kids in a previous video? Yeah, he's salty. Very, very upset.
Go in front of that 12-man Mahto jury. And they'll decide what are in the best interest of the offspring. And unless that father is...
It's 12 angry men, but it's just dudes talking about how much they fucking hate women for 2 hours.
proven to be unfit, the father gets custody. Why? Because women have proven you're incapable of raising kids by yourselves.
What? What?
90% of all felons or all people who are incarcerated today were raised by single mothers. Congratulations, ladies, you earned it.
I don't think that statistic is accurate. But even if it was, you're blaming the partner that raised the kid? Oh, God. Also, correlation isn't causation. What's that mean?
This is why you don't vote. This is why you're not allowed on the tribal councils. If you want to work in the orphanage, if you want to work at the college, if you want to do stuff like that, fine. But according to scriptural law, it says a woman will not stand in judgment of a man. That includes on our councils. And if you have a problem with the scriptures, again, this just may not be the tribe for you. You need to probably go over there with the ones who don't believe in any Most High, or they believe in following the wrong one. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just telling you, as for me and my people, we serve Yahuwah. We do not serve these foreign Elohim, God, or JC, or anything like that. That's not their names. You need to read the Hebrew. Stop reading the Greek. Stop reading the Latin. Those are
Fuck Latin! All my homies hate Latin.
there specifically to confuse you. Why would they take the name of the Most High 6,400 times, his son, and the, set apart spirit? Why would they change those? Unless they're trying to deceive.
Google states some say 90% of felons grew up in a single mother household, but this figure is considered misleading and incomplete. Did you pull that from the AI summary?
You. So this is where we're at with the Mahto Nation.
Yeah, don't read the AI summary. Don't read the AI summary on Google. Don't do it.
We are here to teach men the importance of marrying well.
I don't know who else needs to hear this. The first thing on Google, the AI thing, will just make shit up. And like here, it's misleading. The some say 90% of felons thing. It doesn't matter if some people say it. It's not true. It's ridiculous that the AI does shit like that. Sorry. We're getting into AI hate today. It's poisoning everything.
Why is that? Because if you are marrying a woman who has already been passed over by a number of men, she is emotionally damaged. And after 5 lovers, statistically is incapable of actually emotionally bonding to you.
What does that even mean?
Why do you want to be a
What are you talking about?
cleanup guy that comes in here and takes care of a bunch of other men's kids? You get no respect for it. You have no legal rights to them if that relationship dissolves. But how many simps out here actually step up, pretend like you're, doing something great, which you are if you do it selflessly. But how many of you are kicked in the teeth when she decides 3, 4 years, 5 years later to go ahead and file because she's been getting hit up in her DMs by all these men, and she confuses interest with commitment, lust with devotion.
He's
So what is she-
misogyny personified. Yeah, the implication here that the only reason a woman would ever leave her husband is for some straw man version of what he's talking about. It's insane. It's like the kind of stuff you see on I-word forums.
She goes right after it, only to realize that, oh yeah, there's a lot of guys that'll take their turn. None of them want to marry you, but they don't tell you that. Your single girlfriends don't tell you that. This is what you're up against, men. Here's what you need to do. If you're on a date with her and her eyes, or if you look down, she's got a phone in her hand. It's very simple. It's me or that phone. If that phone rings after 3 minutes, because it's that same old trick where I told my girlfriend to call and that way I can just get it. Don't do that. Just get up and go.
What?
You don't have time for games. You don't have time for dating if you want a Proverbs 31 woman.
You don't have time for dating, all right? Well, that kind of puts you out of the market for any sort of partner, doesn't it?
Date. You're not going to find a body count with her. You're not going to have to tell her how to cook a meal. You're not going to have to tell her how to take care of offspring. You're not going to have to tell her how to can, how to bake, how to run a small farming business. Go read Proverbs.
You know, how every woman is just innately born and endowed with the knowledge of how to run a small farming business. You know how it is.
Proverbs 31. What the hell would you waste time on some woman who is sitting there trying to protect?
His list of, like, qualifications for a wife is sounding a little bit like Heinlein's list of things the competent man should be able to do. H. Baird says, I'm sorry, but the rise of the term body count keeps making me wonder if I'm surrounded by serial killers. You are. We're saving you for last. Proverbs 31, you think he's starting in section 10? Let's take a look. Yeah, we looked at this last time. We, looked at him, but let's take a look at it again. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of his life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She's like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. Basically, it's your wife is going to be your property, but also she's going to do all the housework and take care of the kids, but also she's going to have a side hustle and make a bunch of money for you, and she's going to just be the bestest. But don't forget, she's your property. Get it?
Pretend that she's, just as butch as you. Comes in with, oh, I make this. Who cares what you make? Get down with your bad self. Go out there and make it. Brag to yourself and your cats. Leave us the hell out of it. We don't care. What we care about is those women here who want the high value men. That's what our website's for.
High value men.
And for everybody else.
This is a high value man right here, ladies. Look at this man. This man. Pretty sure this guy went to jail for a year for some stupid sovereign citizen shit. The real catch. His wife left him. He's doing great. He calls himself a black indigenous person, even though he's not either. What a catch.
Else you can get a free account, you can date and everything else, but you're not going to pretend that you're in the same league as these Proverbs 31 women. That's why you have to be willing to bond it. If you tell a lie, whoever put the bond up, you just cost him $100,000. Congratulations. And I'm sorry, are other people out there going to claim that I'm monetizing marriage? What the hell is it about? It has always been a social contract to have sex, to be able to engage in putting families together and wealth together. They've used it for centuries.
What a romantic view of marriage. To be clear, I understand that, like, sociologically speaking, what he's saying isn't inaccurate historically for the purpose of marriages in many situations. But to personally put marriage on that level in the modern day is certainly a choice.
Among the elite of this world to ensure that their wealth never goes outside of their families. Yet we want to castigate men for having this same mentality towards their families? I don't think so. So again, men, we need to start listening to the right people, start ignoring the talking heads. When Mahto's social media comes up, I'm looking forward to these awesome ladies like Miss Just Pearly.
If you extend that, will it count, or should you wait for it to expire? That's a good question. I actually don't know how that works. I don't know. It's a good question. For those that missed it earlier, I talked about it at the beginning. But basically, I used to be at the second level of Twitch Partner Plus, and now I'm not. So if you want to help me get back up to the second level, become a subscriber. Prime subs don't count, but if you become like a normal subscriber, it helps. Because I basically got like a 20% pay drop from Twitch in the new year, unfortunately, because I lost the Twitch Partner Plus level 2, and now I'm just at level 1.
Jedediah Bila, Cam, what's her name? Oh.
Jamie Lynn, thanks for 44 months, says, hi, almost our 5th child. Want this thing out of me!
I don't recall it right offhand, but
gift subscriptions do not count, unfortunately. Gift subscriptions are still great and help the channel. They just don't count towards that particular goal.
Anyway, Cameron,
if anyone cares, I'll be done with this in a sec. I'm sorry for the self-promotion thing. But if anyone cares, it's listed like here on my goals. It's the plus goal. It's got to be 300 regular subscribers for 3 months straight, which I used to have. And normally, I think I get about 150 or so. So I'd need quite a bit. But it's just a goal to work toward long term. More subscribers.
She's the African girl, just incredibly articulate. But anyway, that's who we want to start promoting. You know, Lady J, she does some good stuff too.
I'd agree, Moss Sloth, but
these are the people that we want to start promoting. Why? Because they're protecting kids. How are they doing that? By protecting families. They're trying to speak wisdom. And
the fact that all these shitbags are trying to cover their horrifying, awful beliefs by saying, we're doing it for children. You want a sex slave? Please stop acting like you want anything other than a maid that fucks you. You don't give a shit about children. You want a bang maid. Please stop.
And trying to speak knowledge to their fellow females. So I'm looking forward to helping them with that. But again, this is a quick 7-minute spiel for men on the importance of dating correctly and dating intelligently. So have a super day.
Yes, Unstable Deadbeat points out, tier 1 sub point counts for 1 point, a tier 2 counts for 2, a tier 3 counts for 6. So yeah, he's doing just great. Oh, he did a traffic stop recently.
467 zebra.
He lost his kids, yes.
For the record, I'm a Indian state national, not a U.S. citizen.
He is not, by the way. Again, he is not recognized by anyone as indigenous. He's not indigenous.
7 zebra.
For the record, I'm a Indian state national, not a U.S. citizen.
Come again. And I noticed your registration's expired on the vehicle. Can I see that?
It's not actually owned by the state of Washington. It's owned by a foreign grantors trust. That paperwork's been sent to the DOT. It's under private motor carrier Mahto Ministries.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Just hand me your registration.
There isn't one for it.
Okay, so whose plates are those? Whose tabs on your car?
That would be the state of Dunedin, which is owned by a foreign grantors trust, which isn't any part of your corporate entity's jurisdiction.
Yeah, I get where we're going with this. It's all good.
You work for a corporation.
Sure, looks like it.
established in 1948 called City of Gig Harbor. Have you heard of it? Did I get followed because I was just at the city office?
Records. I'll be on a parking problem at Walgreens.
We got a parking problem at Walgreens.
So I just went in, and here's what I grabbed. So check this out. This is how retaliation works when you're dealing with these foreigners. I went in and I got this certificate here that the chief had signed saying he was going to follow the laws of the republic. Guess what happens?
Can I see that?
I had one of their flunkies here follow me. Now he's trying to intimidate me. You keep going.
You see. All right. Can I see that, sir? State of Washington. I kill a Ducey.
Thanks for becoming a member. Liberate yourself.
Okay. What is this?
When he says foreigners, once again, he's rhetorically talking about the fact that he believes he is an indigenous person. Again, I don't believe he is.
You have our chief's oath of office?
Yes.
Just happen to have that handy, huh?
Nope, I asked him for it.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
The beeping is from his video. I don't know if it might be the cop's body cam telling him he's recording. I don't know.
This is called evidence.
Okay, that's cool.
Is that his signature? Didn't he agree to follow the laws for the republic?
I wasn't there when he signed it.
That's
sir.
true. He claims he is indigenous, black, and Jewish all at once.
No idea.
You don't know if that's his signature? Oh, okay.
You know
Well,
if
I
it's
got this
signature?
from your
Yeah.
city.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
Wish he wore the headdress more. He wore it into court. He wore the headdress into court and got in trouble.
So why are you still here?
I'm waiting for a response on this.
On what?
Your placard.
It's not my placard.
And you're not free to leave, just to let you know. You're
Who?
detained. You.
For what?
I'm conducting an investigation.
Of?
Violation of handicap placard.
That's not a crime.
Okay.
You're under arrest for the record. I need you to call the
Got him!
county sheriff, please.
Yeah.
Tell him you're talking to Chief Mahto. I've given him all of my information. Are you refusing to follow that order, servant? And by the way, you're under no danger from me. You understand that?
No, I don't.
I'm not going to harm you. I have no weapons on my body. I'm not exiting this
You get a
personal
return on the
conveyance.
Disabled placard.
This is private property. Supreme Court already said I can consider it my home. I'm not required to step out.
Copy.
I will not be stepping out.
instinct-
That's okay. I got buddies
Woes.
coming. We can handle this.
And doing what?
So, well, we'll just go slow. You can keep
What, are you
your-
threatening me?
Does it seem like
I've already
you're-
placed you under arrest. Why are you still speaking to me?
My hands are free.
I love when sovereign citizens are like, you're under arrest! And they expect it to do anything, and then they're like surprised when it doesn't. Remember the guy that did the magic mushrooms, trying to sell magic mushrooms at the farmer's market? He did the same thing. What's that guy's name? Shoot, we gotta cover him again. I miss him. He was a really interesting fella.
Why would I come and detain you? Are you refusing to follow the law?
Harbor 11.
The cop
Yes,
doesn't
you're
know
right.
he's endangered. Cognito hazards are real. Keter class. Altered Undying says, ladies, you need yourself a traditional marriage like Marjorie of Karik. Actually, don't kidnap a young man and hold him until he marries you. And then there's a link to... It didn't actually link the whole link, but it's supposed to be to a specific historical event, I think. Where apparently someone kidnapped a young man and held him till you married him. Don't do that. That's not cool.
You, sir?
Are you threatening to arrest me if I don't give it to you? Because again, I've already told you I'm not a U.S. citizen.
Copy. I just want some ID from you.
Do you want to call Stan Glisson before you get yourself in trouble?
Like, this is what I don't understand. Let's say, for instance, let's imagine he really was indigenous. Let's say he really was indigenous. And he was out doing the same thing and he's at Walgreens. He still needs to have a registered license plate and a driver's license. Like, on certain tribal property, they deal with those things themselves. So, like, they have a local tribal government that, Sorry, there's someone on YouTube I was banning. YouTube, mods, keep an eye on YouTube. It's just splitting my attention. Let's say he was indigenous and he was at the Walgreens parking lot or whatever. He would still need a license and registration while he was off tribal property, while he's on, you know, out in the rest of the United States, in the other local, like, and state jurisdictions. Those laws still apply.
He's your prosecutor.
I'm glad you know all these people.
Of course I do.
Because you're probably going to see them again real soon.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, here, hold on. I'll grab that ID for you.
Do I know what's up with the handicap placard? I'm pretty sure his mom is in the store and is the one that the placard is for, and the cop grabbed it because he maybe sussed that the guy shouldn't have it, which he's incorrect. His mom is there, but he is driving a car with no license and unregistered. Oh, cool, Baja. I'll keep an eye on it too, of course. I just wanted to let people know.
May I see it?
No, run the number.
Hand me your ID.
Are you giving it back?
Yes. Thank you.
You're going to be famous.
Well, we see his mother, we hear her. We don't see her.
You don't know me?
I don't.
Okay.
Should I?
I don't know. You said I'm going to be famous.
Yeah, it's called YouTube.
Okay, good.
Captain Rachel says, I think handicap placards are linked to license plates, so if he has Sovset license plates on the car, it may be a reason to take the placard. Ah, I hadn't considered that. Do you need an active license registration in order to use a placard? I could see that being a thing.
I'm Chief Mahto of the Mahto Nation. I'm also the Supreme Court Justice for our nation, and yes, we are a bona fide tribe. We are not foreign like you guys. We're not based out of D.C. We're actually Washingtonians that are based here. You don't understand the difference between that? Again, not my problem.
I'm not trying to understand your background.
It's actually this country's background.
I'm just going to wait for your mom to come out of here. You said she was inside, right?
Would you like me to go get her?
If you want to, sure.
To prove she's here? Are you saying that she's not?
She's not in the car with you.
Oh my god.
He goes and gets her, and that's the end of the video. We don't see the rest. Which is funny, because, like, he does have her there. Just wrong about everything else. Alright. Moving on. This one's short but sweet.
All right, good morning, Mr. Calzada. You're here for arraignment, so could you please tell me your full legal name?
I don't know how that has anything to do with the case. My name.
Well, Mr. Calzada, I need to confirm who you are. So could you please tell me? Well,
I'm here physically present, right?
Mr. Calzada, could you please, what is your first name?
My first name? Well, it could be anything, right? I could change my name at will, right?
I mean, at will? You mean legally? Not at will. Takes a while. There's a process. You gotta publish a thing in a newspaper. Weird.
All right. I'm going to set this matter over for an in-person arraignment, and Mr. Lohr, you'll have law enforcement standing by. All right?
Well, there you are.
All right. So, Mr. Calzada, I will set this over. You will appear in person at the Bothell Municipal Court for arraignment.
I don't even
newspaper publishing thing is the creepiest crap. I think it's so in theory. It comes from a time where, you know, it comes from a time when the newspaper was a thing more people read. It's so if you have debts or whatever, you can't run away from them by changing your name. It's a public record that will exist somewhere that's searchable.
To that. I didn't even consent to, I was going to go there today. And you guys were all doing Snohomish County prisoners. It's pretty busy, huh? The sheriff even said it's pretty busy.
That's true, Mr. Calzada, but I'm going to make time.
Pretty big. The court has to file a 1099-C.
They need to file a tax form to say you're a contractor? No.
File a 1099-C for that bond? You don't need voter approval for that, don't you, those bonds?
What?
How much are the bonds?
Mr. Calzada, I'm going to set this to December 31st at 1:30 in the Bothell Municipal Court in person. You will need to be there for arraignment, okay? So I will see you in person at the Bothell Municipal Court at that time, all right?
Looks like there's no free will then.
We finally did it. We solved that age-old existential question.
You will need to be there for arraignment, okay? So I will see you in person at the Bothell Municipal Court at that time. All right?
Looks like there's no free will then.
Do 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 do. I like the implication that because someone is telling you to do something you don't like and there are hypothetical consequences for that, that means there's no free will. This is like a child's idea of what free will is. Like, this is like a child's understanding of what free will means. Free will is only when you let me do whatever I want all the time and there are no consequences.
So
then what am I doing here then? Hold on, what am I doing here?
well, right now you are not responding to my questions. So
Well,
I'm
you're
gonna
not
have you
responding to any of my. I don't have a problem of answering any of your questions, but I have a couple questions first. I have to understand too. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know everything. I'm not
then
perfect.
have you come in person so that we can be sure that you understand what's
All
going on.
right, great.
Push the Whopper button.
I'm glad. It's definitely implied, isn't it? It's not expressed. It's implied.
And if your answer is ice cream,
December 31st at 1:30 in person.
Sorry, he's giving me Dawn Beverage vibes.
December 31st at 1:30, I'll be there.
Very good. We'll see you then.
You can't fix stupid.
That was beautiful. That was truly, truly beautiful. Oh, Eric Martin. Eric Martin's in jail. Again. This is the guy who keeps getting domestic violence charges constantly. Anyway, he's back in jail again, and his lawyer's asking to be removed because there's been a breakdown in client-lawyer relationship. And yeah, here it is.
With regard to a bond violation, this is case 2424.
Was there a joke in Night Court where there was just someone who kept getting sent to the same jail over and over and over? Maybe that was a recurring gag with several characters, I don't know. He feels like a Night Court character. He's just showing up like a regular. Ugh.
48 SM. People versus Eric Martin. Everybody
Maybe
hear
I'm
me?
thinking of Brett Spiner's character with the hat.
Morning, Judge Donna Sub on behalf of the people, P874339.
Brett Spiner's character's kind of a redneck top, I think.
Morning, Your Honor. James Kazicki on behalf of Mr. Martin, Your Honor. I have a motion to make.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm making a motion to withdraw. I've had contact with Mr. Martin before in other matters, and there's no attorney-client communication in this matter.
Brent Spiner's hilarious in general. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get more roles. I know he spent a lot of the 80s and 90s doing TNG, which probably had a pretty rough like shooting schedule, considering it was like a 26 episode per season show, and he was, you know, heavily make-upped for every episode. But like, the guy's hilarious. Brent Spiner's very funny. Kind of surprised he didn't do more.
We're talking about different things, and there's just no way of moving forward that I can adequately represent them, Your Honor. So I'm asking to withdraw.
All right, your motion to withdraw is granted. Mr. Martin, would you like a different court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, I guess so, since he shows his willingness not to want to do his job and help me out. And
maybe some foam in that room. I think the echo might be a little overpowering to the microphone.
He's in this state making false statements. You're talking about there's a lack of communication. It certainly ain't on my part. I was pointing out to him relevant defenses. He just didn't want to do his job.
Sorry, I'm having trouble viewing the video because there's a cat head right here in the middle of where I'm looking. I know you can see the tip of his ears there, so his head is like right where I need to be looking, but it's fine.
It's clear what he made of me, so...
Mr. Martin, I have found Mr. Gazicki to be a very competent individual, a very competent attorney in many, many cases. I've seen many trials, hearings, motions, practicing in front of this court, and I find him to be very competent. If you make one more negative comment about him, I'll hold you in contempt of court. I don't do that. We don't act like this isn't the Jerry Springer show. This isn't going to be a bunch of name calling. You're going to knock it off. Knock it off, Mr. Martin. I'm done with everything.
Yeah, this judge is so fed up with Eric Martin. Eric Martin has, and this is Judge Slavin is his name, by the way. It's funny, same name as my first doctor. It's the name of the doctor that like assisted in my birth. Slavin, weird. Anyway, he's tired of Eric Martin's shit. Eric Martin has been in and out of this court constantly. Eric Martin went through a whole trial and was his own attorney, and of course he was found guilty and sentenced, and none of it mattered, and he's still trying to do the sovereign citizen stuff. And Judge Slavin here absolutely was the judge on that case, so he knows Eric Martin's bullshit.
You keep doing all your little negative comments, things that you want to say about people, and you think you're the smartest person in the room and that you have some sort of special Juris Doctorate, I guess, from somewhere. I don't know, but you don't have the first clue when it comes to things, and you talk about that. And so Mr. Gazicki is saying that he's trying to talk to you about actual legal defenses, and you're trying to bring up some kind of other stuff. And so I'm going to grant his motion. Do you want, all I asked you was this. I didn't ask you to give me a commentary about Mr. Gazicki or what you think he can do, because I've always seen him to do his job every single time he does a file. What I want to know is, do you want another court-appointed attorney, or are you representing yourself?
I couldn't tell you the name of your first doctor. That's just because he was my doctor until I was like 15 or 16 when he retired.
That's it. It's a simple question. Answer simple questions. That's what you needed to start doing, is answering questions.
Yep, one other attorney, but I want to state also that if it was recorded, it would support my allegations.
Boom, time out. Nope, not hearing it. The question is this: do you want another court-appointed attorney? So you're either going to say yes, court-appointed attorney, or represent yourself.
Why is Colonel Sanders in the other window? The chicken business isn't making as much money as it used to, believe it or not.
What is your answer here today? Because there's only two possible answers here. You either get another attorney, or you can represent yourself if you'd like, or if you want to hire your own attorney, you can do that. So there's three things. Are you going to get one appointed?
Oh boy, he's laying down. He's so cute.
Yourself or retained. Those are the three possible answer choices. What are you going with?
Yes, another appointed one, but without.
All right, there you go. Don't need any more commentary. Don't need any more commentary about it. You have a right to remain silent. You can exercise that right now. So we're going to appoint another court-appointed attorney to you. And the individual who was here as your attorney during your trial, you seem to get along pretty well with him. You want me to reach out to see if he's available?
I don't know who you're referring to.
The guy who was here at your trial. I don't know his last name.
Oh, he's on the other trial.
Yeah, the other trial, not this case. This is the misdemeanor domestic violence case. I'm talking about your driving on a suspended license case, restricted.
Well, I mean, he did for the most part. Well, I don't say for the most part, maybe for the most part, but there's some things he didn't do neither. He should have. He didn't raise my right to travel defense. So
yes or no? Yes.
You don't have a right to drive a car on public roads. Jade Monkey, thanks for 16 months.
Yes or no?
Oh, this guy? Yeah.
Is he somebody that you think you can get you can communicate well with?
I guess we'll give him a try. I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
I guess I'll give him a try.
Sure. All right, I'm going to appoint reach out and see if we can see if he's available. So let's appoint.
But now, Slayton, I have some questions for you before you move forward.
All right, so we're going to set that. We're going to set that for a hearing date, and we'll see you then.
Hold on.
You can't.
Jesus. Gamer G says, I'm sure that's not the last we're going to be seeing of Eric Martin. By the way, I'm sure he'll be back. Never leaves for long. Gamer G says, to be fair, if I were a judge, I'd also be pissed off about a guy who kept getting arrested for domestic violence charges who also pulls sobs at arguments. Oh, it's ridiculous. Especially because most of the time sovereign citizens use arguments like, who's the victim? Because usually they're talking about stuff like, you know, speeding tickets or not having a driver's license. Things where it's a little more abstract and you have to explain, like, social responsibility and why it's important to, like, have an infrastructure and bureaucracy for certain aspects of life. But to literally be involved in domestic, like, violence and then be like, who's the victim? Like, it dehumanizes the people that you're allegedly hitting. Like, what are you talking about? Who do you think the victim is? Yeah, Daryl Brooks tried the who's the victim, and he murdered people.
That is the person that I was given to use in this life, and that
Isn't that cruel and unusual punishment to court-appointed attorneys?
that proper style of upper lower case in accordance with SPR 893.
They're paying their dues. It's fine.
63, which is a court order.
I genuinely, people who do the court-appointed attorney thing, all the respect in the world. The stuff that they have to deal with is just, like, absurd, and I cannot imagine the interesting clients you have to take on.
Full faith and credit.
I'm going to speak one more time, and then I'm going to allow a response. The answer is either going to be yes or no, and the answer to that question will determine whether or not you're involved in this hearing or not. But I don't allow...
Murdered people can't testify against you, checkmate. It's like my strategy to stealth games. There's no way you get caught if there's no one left to catch you.
Ridiculous comments to be made, and I don't allow litigants to control the method of this court proceeding.
Adventures in
Instead,
.net, by the way. Thanks for following.
Identifying questions, because I've just called a case, and the case is called Katrina Thompson versus David Thompson. If the answer to the question I'm about to ask is yes, you're going to be entitled to proceed and be heard in this case. If the answer to the question I'm about to answer is no, you're not associated with this case and you won't be able to be heard. So the answer to the question is, are you David Glenn Thompson?
I am that living soul allowed to use that? Yes.
Oh, I can already tell based on the energy. This is going to be a fun one.
I am that soul.
Mr. Thompson, it's either a yes or no.
Whenever the Sovsit comes in with the, like, energy of a fifth dimensional imp, it always is like, oh, no. Yes, I am that entity. Hello.
You're not going to be involved in the hearing. Let me take it a step further and let you know what happens if you are not David.
Boy, stop. No. Sorry, he is clawing my hand, which is on the mouse.
Glenn Thompson, my next question will be, is there any...
Get him to say his name backwards, will he disappear? We didn't make a specific agreement with him, so that's not how that works. That only happens with Mr. Mixius Litplick, because he agreed... Wait, is that true? Is that an agreement he made with Superman? Or is that just in the animated series? I don't remember.
David Glenn Thompson, in the courtroom or otherwise, if I hear the answer to that question, no, it's likely that the court will issue a bench warrant for non-appearance. So it's your last chance to tell me.
Sure. Yep. Yes.
Are you David?
I feel
Glenn
really
Thompson?
coerced right now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are you David Glenn Thompson?
I believe I just answered that with a yes, and I feel really coerced right now.
Mr. Thompson, I'm not going to allow ridiculousness to control the day in this court proceeding. I don't view this office as needing to allow that, and the law doesn't view this office as needing to allow it. I have a simple and straightforward job to proceed with. If you make that job difficult or impossible, I'm going to simply remove you from the hearing because I don't need to hear ridiculous commentary from you. So when I ask you if your name is what you're listed as on this docket and you tell me you feel coerced, I respond by indicating this. You can participate in this hearing if you're reasonable. If you're not reasonable, I'm going to remove you from the hearing. Am I clear?
Well, I do apologize. You're very clear. I'm just trying to correct errors upon your record.
This record, again, Mr. Thompson.
Looking at... What's up, buddy? You're very up in my zone. What's going on? Okay.
Thompson is clear, and it will be more clear if you let me proceed further past what should be fairly innocuous, which is whether or not you're a named party. Now that we've gotten past that rather innocuous, fairly clear point, the next really clear point is this. You're here today, Mr. Thompson, because there's an allegation that you've not been paid to support as ordered by the court. If you're found to have not been making reasonable payments out of your available income, the court could hold you in contempt, and contempt is punishable by potential jail. In this case, we're also here to address a bond that you had previously posted. So when you posted a bond, I ordered that a hearing would be set today. When I set that hearing, it's to address several things. Number one is to address the issue of contempt and what
he's got kind of a cute distinctive scar right here, by the way. I don't know if you can see that on camera, right on his nose.
Whether or not I should forfeit the bond that you previously posted. The order specifically indicated to you why we're here, but because there appears to be difficulty in you understanding that, I'm going to go through it. Defendant is required under the terms of that written order that you got a copy of to show cause why you should not be held in contempt for failure to comply with the court's order. If you fail to appear, you can be found in contempt and a bench warrant can be issued. If contempt is found, the court can apply any enforcement remedy allowed under the law. The bench warrant is discharged. So again, that's the requirement of the prior order. It enunciated clearly that you were going to appear here on December 5th, and I'm glad that you're present to be able to address those issues. So Ms. Spillane, let's start with the bond. From the friend of the court standpoint, are you asking the bond to be applied towards any outstanding arrearages?
Yes, sir, we are.
Mr. Thompson, did you hear the suggestion by the friend of the court?
I did, and unfortunately, I did not put the bond up. A friend of mine put that up. I'd prefer it go back to them.
Well, the bond is required by statute, Mr. Thompson, and the reason it's required is because when you have outstanding arrears, the law says that if I issue a failure to appear bench warrant, as I did in this case, that I have a statutory duty to impose a bond in the amount of 25% of the outstanding arrears or higher based on my determination. So the amount of the bond that was posted on your behalf is going to be ordered to be forfeited towards the outstanding fines and outstanding child support arrearage. I understand your request, but I'm also confident that the person who posted bond in this child support related matter is, or should be aware of the fact that when posted, it couldn't be utilized for those purposes. So I note your objection, but I rule otherwise.
So his friend put up a bond for him, and now the bond that the friend had loaned him is going towards his unpaid child support payments. Yeah, man.
In order that the bond that was posted will be forfeited towards the ongoing support obligation and or any arrearages. Once that's done, Ms. Spillane, can you tell me in general, what is the outstanding arrears, if there are any, and what is the outstanding monthly support obligation?
Your Honor, this is an arrears only case. Once that bond payment is credited to his account, the total balance would be $14,833.05.
$14,000?
And does friend of the court have any suggestion on what we should do outside of having the bond forfeited as I've ordered already?
We would like to refer the defendant to the referee to monitor payments going forward.
Mr. Thompson, did you wish to be heard on that suggestion by the friend of the court?
I don't even know what to say. I don't really feel that it matters what I say. You just do what you want. So
I mean, legally, you are required to make these payments, sir. I understand that you might feel personally upset and you're like not happy about it. That's okay. You don't have to be happy about it. It just is what it is. They're not doing anything wrong to you.
I mean, I'm looking at court orders in front of me. I'm looking at House Resolution number 10 saying, you can't ask for money because of the bankruptcy. I don't even believe this is an actual Article 3 court, but hey, here we are. And I'd like to know what happened to the promissory note that was sent in 2017 for $20,000 gold equivalent, registered mail to Clerk DeWriter.
1 second. Harold Edelman is asking me about king cakes, and this is very important. Want to keep that or switch for one of these? I like the Bavarian, but let me see what else they have. Traditional chocolate tiramisu, Bavarian cream, cream cheese, strawberry cream cheese, almond cream, salted caramel pecan. Probably just the same one as last time, if I had to guess. We haven't had a king cake, by the way. They're quite good. Yeah, probably just the Bavarian. Like, if you send me another one of these, I will love you, Harold Edelman. It's a fact. These things are fucking delicious. Steve with a Q, thanks for 51 months. Back up.
Divider, I think it is.
It was really good.
And why that wasn't credited to the account, since that would be a securities under these laws here.
So the court would note that I've exercised my discretion.
Am I into cake sitting? No. Though I have seen some cake sitting videos on the internet. I don't get it. I don't get it. But, you know, stuff out there for everyone. What was the Black's Law Dictionary request? Accepted.
Mr. Thompson, I'm going to do my best to explain why.
Page 154, definition 3. Okay.
This court proceeding has started difficult. It appears to be proceeding difficult, but it's really not a difficult understanding or case to understand in terms of the background. The background is that years ago, this case was instituted. It's a 2017 case number. It was instituted as a support matter. As the misplane just indicated, this is a support arrears only matter.
Page 154, definition 3. Beratum, Beradim, Beratus. A cap or coif, a cap or coif used formally in England by judges and chasseurs at law. Toreador says, I was born in New Orleans. I know all about king cakes. It's a little early for Mardi Gras, but king cakes are awesome. They do. They have a baby in them. King cakes contain a baby.
Which means there's no longer any support that's currently charging, but there are outstanding arrears. Arrears means, of course, that there was a prior court order, and that court order was for Mr. Thompson to pay support. Mr. Thompson either did challenge that.
Whoa, he didn't pay child support for 8 years? That's a long time.
Not to have
$14,000 over 8 years is like not that much money. How much is that per month? Hold on. How much was he skipping out on? Calculator. 14,000 divided by 12. Or no, sorry. Duh, go back. 14,000 divided by 4. No, how many years? 8 years. 14,000 divided by 8. Jesus. Divided by 12. That's $145 a month! He couldn't pay $150 a month in child support? That's like the first thing you should be paying is like your child support, if you have it, and then like a mortgage or rent. What are you doing?
Legal challenge to that amount, or he didn't challenge it. In either way,
like I get $150 isn't nothing. Like $150 a month is a lot. That's a bill. That's electricity. That's gas. That's, you know, whatever. But like, it's a pretty important one. It's not enough to raise a child on. It'll help, but like, you have responsibilities.
Amounts have been, for years, been determined to been owed. The amounts have not been paid, however. And even after this $5,600 bond has now been forfeited, the total of arrears are $14,833.05.
Oh, sorry, you're sick, Ryan Cooper. I'm getting over my sickness, too.
Significant amount. When pressed on that issue or questioned if he wanted to be heard, rather than be heard on what the friend of the court issued, which is a fairly, I would say, insignificant request to have the payments going forward monitored through a referee process, Mr. Thompson chose instead to bring up things that have nothing to do with this case. For example, I think, rather oddball claim that this is not an Article III court, or things referencing a surety contract, or other words that, although they seem quasi-legal, don't bear any particular relation to this case. And so the court is left with the suggestion of the friend of the court on what appears to be a fairly innocuous arrears-only matter, and I keep saying fairly innocuous to the court. This is not a difficult factual determination.
$14,000 after bond and any other forced payments. Ah, okay, I missed that. It was after applying the bond amount.
It's not a difficult legal determination. An order was apparently in place. It ordered Mr. Thompson to pay. He's not done so. Arrears are in the nature of almost $15,000.
Don't they believe there's a secret cheat code that gives you infinite money glitch if you just say the right words and a magic spell or something? Some sovereign citizens believe that that's when they're talking about the SESDK trust. That's what they're talking about. Not every sovereign citizen believes that. I don't even know if I would say half of sovereign citizens believe that. It's a pretty specific belief of a certain subset of sovereign citizens, but they don't all believe that.
after the bond was applied, and yet there's claims about promissory notes and other words that I've heard but don't understand how they have any relationship to this case. And I'm quite confident on the record that's been made so far, if I allowed Mr. Thompson to be heard further, I would become more confused, not less. And so it's important for me to note that every opportunity is given to litigants to be heard. Those limitations, some limitations on that right to be heard, are present in this case, and that is, I allow litigants to be heard if it's responsive to the question set forth. If it's not responsive or relevant to the question set forth, I don't find it helpful. And I wouldn't find it helpful if the friend of the court offered things that weren't relevant to the issues at hand either. So again, the court has exercised its discretion to bar any further oral argument by Mr. Thompson. Instead, I'm going to follow the suggestion of the friend of the court. I'm going to refer this case to the referee docket for continued maintaining and watching over whether or not these payments are made going forward. I will, of course, maintain jurisdiction over this court, over this case. I'm simply referring this case to the referee for further proceedings, and I'll also sign that order once it's presented by the friend of the court, ordering that the bond that was posted on Mr. Thompson's behalf is forfeited towards the outstanding arrears only in this matter. Do you have any questions, Ms. Boyd, on this case?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. The court is at recess on this matter then.
Pay your child support.
On February 29th, 2024, officers pulled over a vehicle that had an unidentifiable license plate.
Can you roll this back window down for me? Hello. Hi, can you roll this window down for me? Hi, my name is Officer Fager with the Edgewater Police. The reason I stopped you, he's not in his seatbelt, and your tag is obscured. The top of it, you can't see what it is, and it doesn't come back to anything.
My camera.
So there are kids in the back seat. One of the kids isn't wearing a seatbelt. At least one of the kids isn't wearing a seatbelt. And her car's registration is covered up, and even when he's able to run it, it doesn't come back to anything. So probably not, doesn't have an update registration. Probably.
Yeah, do you have your driver's license with you? Do you have an actual...
The answer is yes, it counts. Wait, what counts? Plus program. I don't know what your... What counts? Sorry, you were probably responding to someone that I missed.
Actual driver's license?
Oh, that is my ID. I'm an American State National.
Okay, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a registration and valid proof of insurance?
I'm not engaging in the commercial use of the highways or byways, nor am I operating.
Yeah, this video is upsetting. I'm gonna probably stop this video like before she gets pulled out of the car or right as she gets pulled out of the car, because the kids do not have a good time. They are all blurred, luckily. I don't like to show kids.
In a for hire capacity. I'm a foreign national exempt from foreign law under Amendment 11 of both the Constitution and the Constitution of the United States, and I claim all my exemptions.
Okay, so do you have any other documentation from the United States government saying that you're exempt from these or that you're
I don't have my paperwork in the car with me, but I do have it.
Okay.
And that's my form of ID, and those are my private plates on the car.
Okay, this is a passport. Okay, so I'm aware of your group that you're with. This doesn't grant you any rights to drive. I will. Do you have a driver's license in any state in the United States?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any other documentation? Nothing from the United States government saying you have diplomatic immunity?
My paperwork is at my house.
Okay. Are you aware that in the United States,
Your paperwork for diplomatic immunity.
when you're a diplomat inside the United,
Don't you recognize me? I was the bad guy in Lethal Weapon 2, you idiot.
claiming to be a diplomat? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm a foreign state national.
Right. So
That's what I am.
So you're a foreign state national.
Yes, and
but
if you run my
you're claiming
passport,
diplomatic immunity, correct?
If you run my passport, you'll be able to see
It's
my.
charged for pretending to be a diplomat? Oh, that's such a lame charge to get to. What are you in for? I impersonated a diplomat.
Documents there.
That's.
It reflects.
So do you have
my
a
status.
drive?
Nerdy Valkyrie says, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like sob-sit arrest videos have gotten worse the more aware cops have become of sob-sits. The reason I get into sob-sits was the arguing with cops, but now, more often than not, the sob-sit just gets to say, I'm traveling, followed by instant window smash and excessive force from the cop. Weirdly, some YouTubers who cover subsets seem to think it's a good thing. Oh, I've noticed that. I hate it. And there's like no... I used to watch other sovereign citizen YouTubers because the topic is interesting to me, obviously. But I just can't watch any channel now that like has commentary, because I'm telling you, like 9.5 out of 10 commentary people are the shittiest people in the world towards sovereign citizens. And I get it. They're annoying. They're wrong. They're ignorant. They're full of themselves. I get that they're frustrating, but like I see so many channels that just use the most disgusting language and constantly talking about like, this alpha cop beats up this fucking beta simp subset. Like, it's so couched in this weird language, and like they're worried about like ego of the cops. It's like so fucking gross.
Driver's license in any state in the United States.
This is a Sobsit video and I am doing commentary. I am aware. I am doing so, not doing those things.
That is
I'm not saying it's bad to do commentary. I'm saying the world of sovereign citizen commentary is full of right-wing douchebags, or even just centrist douchebags that don't really seem to care that it implies bad things about policing.
Form of ID, sir.
Do you have a driver?
Or they have like no empathy for ignorant people or people in situations where like they were misinformed. There's just a complete lack of empathy. And I get it. I'm not even saying they can't make jokes. I make jokes, but it's the lack of empathy for the human beings.
Driver's license? That's not my question. Do you have a driver's license? You do not. Okay.
No, that is my form of ID.
Do you have a registration or a valid proof of insurance for the vehicle?
Like, I've seen, and I'm sorry I'm going on about this now, like, sometimes I'll click on a sovereign citizen video, and I'm like, I don't even think that person was a sovereign citizen. I think that person was either severely mentally ill, or, like, they just didn't understand what was going on, or maybe they were an asshole, but, you know, maybe not a sovereign citizen, you know? Like, I see that sometimes, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
I saw one video on, like, I don't even remember whose channel it was, but it was a big channel for this kind of content, and it was literally like a homeless man outside of a hotel ranting about how he's like the emperor of the world or something, you know, like someone who's clearly experiencing a complete delusional break from reality. This was like a homeless person, and yet they were still talking like it was just some normal sovereign citizen, be like, should have learned your place and listened to the cops. And it's like, this guy's clearly severely mentally ill and doesn't know where he is. Like, why are you talking about this like he's some, like, asshole? Like, it's kind of maddening.
Yes or no question?
No.
Okay. Any particular reason he wasn't seatbelted?
No, he had.
He was hanging out the window. Yeah, but when we were behind him, he didn't have his seatbelt on.
Away from school. And
Okay, where did you obtain that tag?
From foreign state national guy in Alabama who makes the plates.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're aware that in the United States and in the state of Florida, you're required to have specific tags that actually go to the vehicle and is registered. Are you aware of that?
My private automobile.
Okay. You've been filled with some false information. So in the state of Florida, you're required to have a driver's license.
I'm not sure many people are aware.
We are. I have read a lot about the foreign state nationals.
I don't know. I feel like they.
Not a novel. I mean, it's not a novelty plate. A novelty plate would be like something that's like a joke and not meant to be taken seriously. That might be on like the front of your car if it's a state where that's allowed, and it doesn't have to be an official front plate. She has a fake plate. She has a fake private plate that isn't real.
Give people a bad rap because I've been in situations before where I try to explain to them and they keep calling me sovereign citizen and like.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is.
It's not. And when you look it up on the internet, it'll tell you right, but it'll explain it as a
essentially
sovereign citizen.
Essentially, it's a sovereign. It is a sovereign citizen entity. Do you have keys to the vehicle? Can you hand me the keys?
No, I cannot.
Okay, step out of the car for me.
Alright, I'm gonna stop it here, because nothing comes but screaming kids. Don't do this shit with your kids in the car. I'm begging you. Begging you. Don't do it. How's Glenn doing? A lot of body cam channels seem to glorify cops. Oh, almost all of them do. Like, half the titles are like, tweaker, you know, gets stopped by hero cop. Like, they pick scenarios that very specifically always showcase cops as being good guys, and, like, specifically often certain racial minorities being, shown in not the best light. It reminds me of Cops, basically. It feels like these channels pick their videos that they post, sort of like the producers on Cops used to pick their segments. Does that make sense? To be clear, that's not to say all of them do. I've seen a few channels where it's like a pretty decent smattering of random different arrest things, but the channels that I see are often clearly selecting their videos based on certain, let's call them, thematic topics that they're interested in.
You mind if I ask what happened? Guess so.
May actually be cops running those channels. Regardless of whether or not they're cops, they're the kind of person that would have a 1350 tattoo. Have I seen Skip's Intro's video essay on copaganda? I haven't. I'm familiar with copaganda and its meaning, but I've not seen that video. He does breathe loud.
Hey, sir.
Hello?
This video is, I'm sorry, I know a little speak English. I don't like this video, it's my family.
It's not a video, we're live.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a video, though. It's a stream. It's a live stream video. The guy is clearly asking, hey, can you not film my family? Please?
We're live.
My heart is broken.
What happened?
I don't like.
You tell me what happened?
I don't know. I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah, he's not gonna turn it off. He's a dick.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, through Google Translate, he's probably asking him please not to film. I feel bad for this guy. Glenn doesn't not understand you, sir. Glenn's just an asshole. Oh, baby. You know he gets into an altercation with the cops at some point in here.
On YouTube.
I understand.
You're live. I thought people gotta stay back. Hey! I thought people gotta stay back. Hey, don't touch me. Don't get in my fucking face. Did I move? Did I move? You're live.
You can stay there.
You're live on YouTube.
I understand.
You're live. So you're telling me that they can go over there, but I can't? That's the family of what? You're supposed to put up crime scene tape. I need your card. I gotta report you. I gotta report you, SPD. I gotta report you.
How old is this video? This was 9 days ago.
I'm ashamed that we have loser cops like you in Seattle. You're the bottom of the barrel. That's what they're hiring.
Who's in Seattle?
They're hiring the bottom of the barrel. You didn't say that. You just said that after 20 minutes of me being here, 27 minutes. I'm supposed to know that. You still have me in your information, so I need both of yours. Couldn't take a leg kick. I can look one good fucking guy.
I like when he starts to threaten him. It's so petty and childish, and it's so funny knowing, like, I'm not commenting on anyone's looks. I don't like to do it. I think, A, it's lazy. Like, if you're trying to be funny or entertaining, the laziest, lowest hanging fruit is always look at this physical feature or something. I hate it. Not only for moral reasons, but it's just lazy. You're fucking hack comedians, goddammit. The amount of streamers I see just pointing out physical features on someone. Get a talent, you fucking hacks. Secondly, not talking about his looks, but Glenn is not a person that looks intimidating. He's not an intimidating looking guy. So it's just very funny when he tries to insinuate that he is going to commit violence against cops. Heavily armed cops.
This isn't 1975. Mullets don't scare me. Mullets don't scare me, bro. Chuck Liddell's got a mullet, and he ends up on his ass all the time. Most cops, they get mouthy and tough, but when you take them to like a UFC arena and you give them one good leg sweep, one good leg kick, the fucking guy wants to go to the bathroom.
Who have you swept the leg on, Glenn? When have you taken someone to a UFC ring and fought them? When?
Hide.
New lore unlocked, mullet scared him in 1975. That is very strange. That's very strange.
All it would take is one good leg kick in the UFC arena. That's all it would take.
Seattle's still struggling with bad cops. Oh yeah, there are bad cops
bro,
fucking everywhere, but especially in cities. Yeah, there's just a lot of cops, and the institutions are pretty fucked.
Couldn't take a leg kick. I can look right at you. Couldn't take a leg kick, bro. You couldn't. Don't. Yeah. What? Get in my face again. Do it. Get in my fucking face again, bitch. Fuck you. You got my fucking face and you fucking threatened me, motherfucker. You did. Now you're fucking pissing me
Luna,
off.
give me $200. That was great. Luna, give me $200. Luna, give me $200. That was a stream he did outside of it. This was before he got arrested one time. He was outside of a police station and he was begging this person to give him $200 to do some stupid shit. I hate streamers so much. I see the irony in that statement. We all live with unfortunate realities.
Two of you don't matter. Call for backup. Trust me, call for backup. When you come at me, I'll fucking handle it.
They brought in a good chief to clean it up 10 years ago and the union ran her off. Police unions are like the one union that should not be allowed to exist. Holy shit.
You're not gonna fucking falsely arrest me. Put up crime scene tape. Put up crime scene tape like your job tells you to. Read your fucking manual.
They don't have to unless someone like you is causing an issue. Verbal should be enough.
All it takes is one good federal lawsuit. You guys are already sanctioned because you're fucking stupid. You say that, but you won't. You're just sitting there talking. That's all you do. And you have your days off, and it's possible we might run into each other at a grocery store, and you're not wearing your badge, and let's see how tough you are then, right?
You're gonna fight him at a grocery store?
I'm saying that if you're so tough, why not show it? Why, if you're so bad, you're such a badass.
Okay, I think I need to point out, for people who aren't familiar with Glenn Serio, hold on, let me pull him up real quick so you understand in particular why it's interesting that he's threatening these people who are in, decent physical shape. I say this as someone who is not in decent physical shape. I'm not glass housing here. I'm self-aware. That's Glenn. He's not gonna beat up the cop. He's not going to beat up this guy. He's just not going to do it. Phyllis Filler says, a reminder that Portland Police Bureau hired a new chief from Philadelphia whose name was Danielle Outlaw. Glenn. Remember when he got arrested after not washing his hands when he peed?
With your camera and your gun, show it. You are trying to do something. Your buddy with the fucking mullet got loud. Skinny jeans and mullets don't scare me. Skinny jeans and mullets don't scare me.
He didn't wash his hands after he peed and he was arrested? Yeah, he was filming himself. He was in the bathroom, he peed, he went to the sink, and you saw him on his own camera stick his hands under the water for like 2 seconds as if he was washing his hands, but not really. He didn't get soap or anything. He literally just like activated the water automatically because it was an automatic sink, ran it under his fingers for about 2 seconds, and then walked out. It's like he just wanted the noise to happen and didn't realize that it was on camera. Like, wait, like, wash your hands, you nasty.
Looks like everyone's allowed to move freely but me, huh?
Well, you're the only one that's not
That
really
might be
not really involved in this crime scene. So they're allowing you to. You're here. You're here, man. You're filming them. You're doing the thing. That's it.
racist thing, huh? Are you racist? Is that what that is?
Is Glenn gonna say you're mistreating him because he's white?
Oh, he's moving. He's moving. You're not telling him to get back, are you? How are you going to explain this to SPD? How are you going to explain it? You can't.
In my experience, Doggy Kruger is a very understanding CO.
One person to move and no one else. That's like a racially motivated attack.
I wish more people would just laugh at Glenn. I don't think he'd react
And look,
well.
we have another guy walking, and they threatened me. Guy with the green hoodie's walking wherever he wants. I got threatened by SPD.
Glenn is racist. He is. And sexist. And I think homophobic. Yeah, we've heard some stuff out of his mouth before that is not good.
I'll be happy to file 2 complaints and follow up. Yeah. Have you ever been hit with a federal lawsuit? Probably not. Sometimes the newbie's got to find out what it's like.
Why do I want Glenn Serio and Andrew Ditch to run into each other? I think that would be an interesting interaction. He's in the whitest city in Washington. I thought he was in Portland, right? No, wait. Did he say he was in Portland? Where is he?
You could have just kept your mouth shut and everything would have went smooth, right? But you're too fucking stupid to do that, right?
From
At least the coroner knows her job.
In Seattle. Duh. Sorry. Why did I think Portland for a second? I conflated Portland and Seattle.
Pussy ass bitch. Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth, bitch.
You thought there was a court order not to
I
do
can
this?
get loud too.
Yeah, it was like 6 months or a year or something, and that time passed. He's allowed to do it again.
Bitch, I can get louder. What's the law? Cite the law. Cite the law. Cite the law. So you're gonna block me out and let them in?
Yeah, the officer he stalked, he was calling her a lesbian, but not using the word lesbian.
That doesn't matter. Let's go. I'm walking. I'm walking. So you put your hands on me, remember. Remember the circumstances here. You will put your hands on me because you're stupid. You're dumb enough to do it. That's why you're a fucking rookie cop. Which line? You better make sure the line's long. What is your name? I can't see your name badge. You're ugly fucking pimple ass. You have an ugly fucking face. Look at your fucking face, bitch.
You ever notice how he talks way worse to women cops than male cops? It's almost like he's got some misogyny issues.
You have acne and holes in your fucking face. You're ugly. You're an ugly fucking bitch. You need makeup. I would not fuck you. I swear to God, I would not fuck you.
See what I mean? Like, he acts like an I word on like a forum yelling about women to make himself feel better. What's up with that?
Put money out, I would not fuck you.
Yeah, man, I don't think she wants you either. Like, what are we talking about? You're an adult. You're like 35 years old. Please stop.
I would not fuck you. I will not fuck you. You're disgusting.
Why do dudes do this? I know you guys know that Marcel did a video about me recently, and he did the same thing. Do gross dudes think that everyone wants to fuck them and that it's an insult when they're like, I wouldn't fuck you? Like, yeah, great, cool, yeah, awesome, glad we're on the same page. Like, what the fuck?
Your little fucking holes in your fucking face. You look like a meth head.
We all have holes in our face, Glenn. They're called pores, or nostrils, or eye sockets, or a mouth. Take your pick.
You're ugly. I will not.
How much longer is left in this video? We're probably going to be on it for another 5 or 10 minutes tops. We're not watching the whole thing. I'm skipping through.
Fuck you.
I know he's hard to sit through. I'm sorry.
Tell you, I will not.
It's been a while since we've gotten new Glenn stuff.
Fuck you. You're an ugly ass bitch. I'm serious. I would not put my dick in her. I would not do it even with the condom.
That's
good.
I
swear to God.
That's good, man. That's good. Ugh.
You feel protected, mullet, with your little mullet? Your skinny jeans?
Feel protected mullet with your little mullet isn't good writing. I'm gonna put that out there.
Do you feel safe? Yeah. Yeah, bitch, walk away. Walk away, bitch. Good bitch. That's what we pay you for, taxpayer money. Fucking meth before you became a cop? You dirty ass bitch. With his mullet.
There we go.
Okay, I have to let you know this is a public easement, and they did come at me violently. So they did come at me violently. Yes, they did. So I was standing here.
I don't know what his line of work is. I know he used to do the streaming thing as his main job, but I don't think he does now.
By that no parking. They had no problem with it. We were just standing there. They were standing there. They never told me to move once. These Mexican guys were walking all around the whole car. No problem. So I decided to step out.
He does that thing where he brings up people's race and stories, you know, for no good reason. What's up with that? Green guy with a $3 tip says, trolling women on the internet doesn't hit like it used to, so he started doing it IRL. Apparently. Ugh.
Street a little bit. Right when I did that, he started yelling, the guy with the mullet, and then they both come at me like violently and holding.
Your mom does that, yeah. In my experience, like Gen X and older have a pretty bad habit of randomly labeling people in stories by their race when they're not white. Like, at this point, I'm not even, like, I'm not upset about it. It just kind of makes me laugh at, like, and roll my eyes at, like, yeah, oh, that's revealing about how they categorize people in their head, whether they realize it or not.
Their weapons, and I took it as a major threat. And I know the Constitution says, like, whether you're a cop or not, I can defend my life. I can defend my life. Well, no, you can't hold.
To be clear, not everyone Gen X and up. I'm just saying, I've broadly seen it as an issue and a verbal tick with more people of those age groups and older.
Your gun and threaten me with it, like your batons and shit. Like, if I'm not a criminal, right? If I'm not. Sure. Oh, he threatened. He was holding his weapon, for sure, 100%.
So did he say anything about?
He started yelling with his mullet, so he was screaming belligerently. Would you like to reenact what you did, or?
I mean, he's got a body camera.
I'm being attacked by a kitty.
Oh, that's great. I'd love to see it.
Well, I can't give you
All for you request it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think these two need retraining.
1 sec, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get him his toy. Hey, buddy. The boy has been driven to violence by Glenn's stupidity. We all have been.
The short one, she started getting the tape after I told her. I told them they have to have this tape out. You can't just tell me to move
Okay, would that be an issue?
from an area without. So if we, it's easier. So like you say that, right? But when we stand before a judge and the judge rules against you, and you're called off the bench and you're sent home, you're still pissed.
Like, honestly, if somebody's coming up to my scene and I tell them to step away from the scene because of impeding the investigation, and they ignore those orders, and I play it sneaky against them, if I go to court and the court disagrees with me, I'm okay with that.
So I
Just a Peach says, how does a mullet talk?
But I can't enforce the scene that
In the 90s, a mullet released a hit record, Achy Breaky Heart.
I'm creating.
So I have a history of cops, right? I've had cops in my life, my whole life, right? And I know how to deal with cops. I know how to deal with good cops, bad cops. I know how to send them to jail. I know how to file.
What cops have you sent to jail? Just curious. Phyllis Filler says, I'm sure if we went back in time and showed this to the framers of the Constitution, they would specifically carve this man out of the First Amendment.
Complaints. I know how to even take them to federal court.
Hello, baby.
I know. So all cops think they're right. They think that they know everything, right? But when it comes time to go to court, things change, right? There's a lot of things you don't know that lawyers study, right? But you're not a lawyer. He's not a lawyer.
You're not a lawyer.
Well, yeah, but there's common sense too, right? And there's a manual. You read a manual.
Some laws that don't exactly go with common sense, right? Like, I think we all know that.
I've been charged with every crime in the book, and every crime has been dismissed with prejudice, okay? I'm a fucking expert, a savant at dealing with cops. I'm telling you, like, I'm a fucking savant.
Okay, so
Like,
you said that you want to make a complaint to make it your name?
How good are you at blackjack? Usually my test.
no, you cannot have my
The
name.
people were walking around their own car. Yeah, he's complaining about non-issues.
Okay, I can't really make a complaint without it.
Sure you can. Anonymous complaint. The complaint is against these two officers. I still don't know why he's standing here.
I already explained why you said it. That's okay.
For your safety.
Solith says, I think the comments toward women have a lot to do with insecurity, as it tends to be with a lot of I words. My encounters with them suggest a sense of personal persecution and victimhood. Yeah, for whatever reason, he feels insecure around women. Women make him feel insecure. Not the fault of women, just how he feels for whatever reason. He feels insecure. So he thinks that by, like, saying all these negative things towards women, it makes him feel better because it puts them down. He is projecting his feeling of insecurity by implying that, oh, she's making me feel bad. I need to bring her down a peg. She thinks she's such hot shit. I'll tell her I don't want to fuck her. Like, no one brought it up. This is all because he has some sort of insecure thing, and in order to alleviate his own anxieties and his own uncomfortable thoughts, he puts her down because he feels her very presence is making him feel threatened and insecure.
Okay. So
Why can't we say the I word? Twitch has weird rules. You can say, like, let's say we were talking about the topic broadly. You can talk about the sociological concept of incels, but you can't call someone an incel. You're not allowed to do that.
you feel threatened.
No.
Okay.
Anytime we contact people, we generally try to have
Is there?
It's just a part of our policy.
So you're the sergeant. Is there a
I
lieutenant?
just try to avoid it as much as possible for, to be safe.
I can talk to you? Okay. I can head down to HPD headquarters and find one myself. So it doesn't sound like you want to take my complaint, right?
No, I'll log it to a complaint.
Okay.
I'm trying to get your name for that complaint.
I don't want to give my name because I don't trust this guy, and I'd rather him find out later. So
That's all that you wanted to tell me about.
that's not all I want to tell. I have a lot to talk about, but you don't want to listen to it.
I'm talking to you. I've been listening to you this whole time.
Okay, so I told you I've been threatened by this guy. He started yelling at me, coming at me violently. He was holding his weapon, okay? He never once mentioned what was happening, if there was a crime in progress or nothing. He stood there whispering to his buddy the whole time with the earring. So I took it as but when they saw me with the camera, they fucking came at me like they're gonna fucking shoot me.
No,
they're afraid of cameras, bro. They do not want cameras.
Okay, I'm done with Glenn. Jesus Christ, I hate him. No bite. Ouchie, buddy. No bite. Oh, hold on. He's sitting on a button. Hey, buddy. You're sitting on the button. Thank you. Why do you bite me? Bye-bye. Ah! That wasn't an invitation for further bites.
I'd like to give some closure on why I withdrew my country and Title IV flag from the United Nations on December 3rd, 2024.
I'm one of you, kitty.
August
Don't
12th,
attack.
1999.
So this is David-Russell Colin J. Gould. He believes that he is the Postmaster General of planet Earth. He believes that he is in charge of the United States and everything within it because he thinks the post office is the highest thing in the government. Super cool. Ah! Seriously. I'm sorry I'm yelling into this. I'm not trying to.
David-Win Colin Miller, who is now deceased, and myself, Russell-J. Colin Gould, filed for the copyrights on the Title IV flag sections 1, 2, and 3. Since we knew the United States...
He thinks he filed a copyright on the American flag, and it means he's the ruler of the Earth now. Stop biting my ankles!
States Inc. and the United States of America was coming out of their third and final bankruptcy ending on November 2nd, 1999.
The United States has never gone bankrupt, much less had 3 bankruptcies.
When the United States Inc. and the United States of America came out of their third and final bankruptcy, it ended their corporate authorizations for a flag, treasury, FEMA, military, and postal authorizations of the United States Inc. and the United States of America. It also terminated the authorization for a corporate trustee called the president. And that's why, since 1999, all presidents have been fraudulently placed in a selection because there is no government for there to be a president of. So it's just a selection, and it's quite a sad thing.
There's no government. That thing in Washington, don't pay attention to that. It's not real. Green guy with the $3 tip says, Hannah, whenever I watch those racist, sexist people, I just think, man, you could be really good at the harp or glass blowing, but instead you choose hate as a hobby. Doesn't that suck? You get one life. You get one chance to be a human being. Like, as far as we know, the only sapient, sentient life on the planet. Like, there's other sentient life, but like sapient life, you know? And you just choose to do stupid shit. At least the stupid shit I choose to do is fun stupid shit. Ugh.
To watch the people fall into this Babylon trap of the social engineering to create fake leaders called presidents who do what they want, take us to war, and undermine the safety of the citizens of the former United States of America. So this is why there's no borders, because they don't have to have a border because there's no boundary line anymore.
There are borders. He's using a lot of right-wing rhetoric in order to bolster this. This guy, Russell-J. Colin Gould, I'm of the opinion that he's a complete grifter. I don't think he believes any of this stuff. I think this is a calculated thing he puts together to charge people money. for his services, for his consulting. So that's why he's using so much like MAGA-esque rhetoric about like the borders are open, trying to get those kind of people in as new marks for his grift.
More. By filing for the copyrights of the Title IV Sections 1, 2, and 3 flag at the United Nations.
Again, you can't copyright the United States flag.
Gave me a
It already exists. It's already a thing. Betsy Ross made it, or whoever really made it. Oh, here's an embarrassing thing I'm about to admit. Is Betsy Ross a real person, or was that like a myth that they made up and told us in kindergarten as like a patriotic thing? There's a blind spot in history. Betsy Ross was real? Did she really come up with the design? Or did she just sew it after being told, here's what you're gonna do? Just curious.
Platform to further educate foreign countries on the decentralization of banking using quantum grammar and the quantum banking system as a neutral platform.
I'm glad she's real. Good for Betsy Ross.
For honesty and full closure with the words on
She was a real person, but she didn't design or sew the flag? What's she famous for, then? Then how is she associated? Well, obviously I know it wasn't the modern flag with, like, the number of states we currently have. But, like, the 13-star flag is what I'm talking about.
In the year 2001, since David and I had filed for copyrights, the Title IV flags 2 years earlier, the United Nations gave me a chance to register my country called Universal-Postal-Union, which is also known as the Unity-States of a World.
Is Paul Bunyan real? No, his ox made him up so he'd be less lonely.
Corporation, which is now known as the Global-Postal-Union. And I registered that with the Postal Administration at the United Nations in the year 2001.
Betsy Ross had a business that made flags for almost 50 years? I didn't know that. And Betty Ross is the granddaughter of Betty Ross? Wait. Betty Ross is Betsy Ross's grandmother in Marvel Comics? That's interesting.
Doing that, it allowed for further growth by me.
Paul Bunyan is fiction? Uh-huh. Then where did the Grand Canyon come from? Checkmate. Liberals.
Articulate transition. Give full closure on how you're positioning your words in contract to make them facts as the facts. So using the prepositional phrase to articulate the transition to create a translation between foreign languages. When I registered my country with the United Nations, I also registered it with the Universal Postal Union in Bern, Switzerland, as well as the U.S. Pentagon and the U.S. Post Office in Washington.
Can we do an Avengers team, but it's made up of, like, Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, John Henry, the steel-driving man? Who are other figures of American civic mythology? Uncle Sam's too on the nose. No Uncle Sam. What's her name? Fuck, why can't I think of her name? Before Uncle Sam, she was the... It was like the symbol of the... Whatever.
DC. Upon this growth
no,
of
not
registering
no.
my nation...
Colombia! Thank you, Colombia!
With all the corporate entities around the world, it gave me a...
I know Johnny Appleseed was a real person. I'm familiar with the story of Johnny Appleseed. I'm just saying, the place he has in American mythology and folklore, I think, puts him in a similar category.
A platform to further articulate translations between languages, and I was given the chance at the United Nations to meet with many ambassadors at the United Nations between January 2003 and May 2003, where I was given access to more than 80 ambassadors and embassies, and I had meetings with diplomats to talk about my creation of the quantum banking system. The quantum banking system is multifaceted and covers many genres of what we call the Babel or Babylon banking system, which they...
Genres of banking system?
Have out here to
Is this just what words is he putting together? Genres of banking system. Did he forget the word types?
the general public today, which
Or does he think genre sounds fancier than types, but doesn't understand it only applies to, like, media?
articulates words that are modified with adverbs, words that are modified with adjectives, creating pronouns, and creating a system.
Fucking pronouns! Sorry, Peep Lord. Peep Lord said, I always thought Betsy Ross was like a Claudette Colvin situation. I don't know who Claudette Colvin is.
The attorneys in corporate America changes and moves the goalpost of terms because the words.
What do these people think quantum means? Magic. Magic. Blame Deepak Chopra.
Mean anything because they're undefined.
I do.
So with the quantum banking system, the decentralization comes where everyone gets their own banking system where they articulate their words with facts as the facts using prepositional phrases to certify their facts, otherwise known as nouns. And so it gives a platform for claimants to board the contract of the Global Postal Union, where they now can set up their sovereignty to articulate their words and translate between different foreign languages and lose no deviation in their sentence structure, maintaining a position of neutral, of no past tense or future tense ideologies within the sentence structure of the quantum banking system. So everything is harnessed now, in the now space. And when you place things in neutral of the now you can look at
Deep Lord with a thing to the Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin, born Claudette Austin, September 5th, 1939, is an American pioneer of 1950 civil rights movement and a retired nurse aide. On March 2nd, 1955, she was arrested at the age of 15 in Montgomery, Alabama for refusing. Oh, she's the one that did the bus seat thing before they set it up with Rosa Parks. Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't know her name, but I was familiar with this story. And they decided to go with Rosa because wasn't Claudette like a teen mother or something? I don't remember what it was. Anyway. Yeah, it's because she was unmarried and pregnant. There we go. History's interesting.
things for what they really are and articulate and fix any flaws that you may have in your systems. When I was at the United Nations in 2003, I was given a chance to meet the head of the United Nations Postal Administration, Robert Gray. And I did a
you have a picture with him that you took with him? Because you said you met him.
45-minute meeting with him at One UN Plaza, where I had a conversation with him about postal mechanics, the quantum banking system, and some of the things that I was articulating for neutrality in grammar. And he was very fascinated and had a bunch of questions for me, and I answered them. And I had some questions for him, and when I asked him my questions, he didn't know the answers. So I told him he was disqualified under a lack of knowledge, and the United Nations, he said, wanted to be a student of the quantum grammar. I said,
I swear this happened, guys. He said the United Nations wanted to learn from me. I'm very real.
That would be fine because I'm here under educational volition only, because the citizens of the world are writing an adverb verb and they don't have any knowledge of the quantum system. They don't use nouns as nouns and facts as facts when they write contracts. Therefore, this
fact is not a part of speech. There is no part of speech called facts.
This is an educational system at this point, as I'm educating the United Nations and was given access to all these different platforms within the United Nations. So it was
like, if you don't use verbs and adverbs, how are you going to describe actions? Like, how are you going to describe anything anyone does or will do ever, or what the quality of that doing is?
At the end of the meeting, after he disqualified himself and said he wanted to be the quantum banking system student the United Nations did, I said, yeah, that would be fine because, it's complete education at this point. He then, with his people, came in and took a picture of me in the foyer there at the plaza, and It was a good conversation.
So
I
can
really
I
got
see
to
that
grow
photo?
as a person?
May I
just to
see it?
Learn how to be more diplomatic.
No.
As well as I rewrote the structure form of the Vienna Convention for embassies and diplomats on a global level, and I published that there. So that really expanded my mind as well. Just a lot of knowledge. It took me about a year to complete that task, but it was a wonderful platform that I built and created a lot of accountability and honesty between diplomats as they negotiate contract and corporate transactions between nations. However,
they're nations. They're not corporate.
As a young man, my father gave me access to the John Birch Society and books like Aldous Huxley's A Brave New World. I
wish I had some Soma right now.
Also was given access and got to read books from Atlas Shrugged, which gave me a different perspective on how a global society is.
I feel like maybe those books, I think Brave New World and Atlas Shrugged maybe have slightly different ethoses. Just a little bit.
And where they were going with their concepts of globalism. And their concepts of globalism did not match my perspective of moral values and ethics. And so I did not condone the United Nations and what they were doing when I was there in 1999 to 2003.
What's the possibility this guy is also Peter's barbecue man? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
However, my love for life and fairness and honesty has taken me into many places. I've neutrally observed different behaviors and patterns that undermine my values for the love of life, people, fairness, and honesty.
Speaking of which, will you have a response to that existing? I'm not going to click on that unless someone else checks that link. I have no idea what that is. I don't even recognize the dot whatever.
And for
probably for dot international. I don't know what that is.
I have withdrawn my flag and country from the United Nations. I no longer authorize the United Nations to be my students. I no longer authorize or condone any corporations in contract with the United Nations to use the Title IV flag, quantum grammar, and the quantum banking system. In the contracts that I have filed with the United Nations in December of 2024, I'm authorizing the United Nations as a corporations and a corporation's headquarters in New York City.
It's safe, thank you. What is that link? One world, one postal network, Universal Postal Union. The Universal Postal Union is a United Nations specialized agency in the postal sector's primary forum for international operations. I don't know how he feels about this. He's probably not thrilled about it.
To be kicked off the North American continent.
Personally, he probably doesn't actually care. Like I said, I think he's a grifter.
I'm authorizing the United Nations to leave the North American continent and set up their corporation headquarters anywhere else but not on the North American continent. After 25 years of having the Title IV flag and my country is logged at the United Nations, I was giving the United Nations a chance to come into the correct grammar and do the correct thing for the world to create
He's
neutrality
trying to grab
and
the
peace.
MAGA people with this talk? Oh, for sure. He's definitely trying to go for, like, the xenophobic, isolationist crowd.
For mankind. However, over the last 10 years, the United Nations volition to create discord and undermine societies and culture around the world through allowing NGOs and other organizations, affiliates such as the World Health Organization, to go stronger in a paradigm shift to create harm to society and my fellow mankind.
There's some probable anti-vax stuff.
Bombardment of all the fraudulent grammar that these corporations and NGOs have used against we the people. I'm also not authorizing the United Nations to use quantum grammar against the people anymore. So now the people have a safety net against the policy forcers of the United Nations who would come against we the people. So I know that some of you may think that, well, hey, why did it take so long? Or why only kick the United Nations off the North American continent? Well, they need to go everywhere. I mean, they need to get totally off the planet as far as I'm concerned. but it's going to be up to the people of the location to use correct grammar to move them out of their countries that the United Nations are going to have to move to. So the United Nations and their affiliate corporations cannot use quantum grammar nor the Title IV flag.
I find that so funny, because, like, that's not how anything works. If there was just a language, like, if you think quantum grammar is a real language, you can't stop people from speaking a language. It's not how it works. Not a language, so it's whatever, but, like, it's weird that you're like, you can't use my language.
I have given publication.
I have a question, actually, for conlang purposes. Conlang being, like, a constructed language. Like Klingon. If I wanted to write a book in Klingon, would I have to pay Paramount or whoever owns Star Trek? I understand I would certainly have to use the name Klingon or to advertise it as in Klingon. It's like that Klingon, I would imagine, is the trademark of, like, the Paramount Corporation. But, like, is a conlang copyrightable? Or at some point does it become complex enough that it's a language, and you know what I mean? Like, there are college courses on how to learn Klingon. I'm just kind of curious, at what point does a conlang no longer become something you can own and just become a thing that exists?
With the United Nations on December 3rd, December 4th, and December 5th. And they've been given written closure to leave the North American continent.
Oh,
now,
thanks, Dillis Filler.
What does this mean for the claimants and postmasters who have joined the quantum banking system? It means that each corporation in contract with the United Nations has zero enforcement on any policy and mandate that they may try to enforce compliance on. It means that corporations like the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, non-governmental organizations, and the World Health Organization, who are in contract with the United Nations, cannot enforce their policies against the claimants and postmasters. And now, the claimants and postmasters have a position of grammar to safeguard their lives, their sovereignty, and their neutrality. And the condition of state that they have is neutrality, peace, and happiness, to control the sovereignty of the direction of their lives and lifestyles is now will be placed in the hands of the people. And as they move out of the earth space banking and move into their divine space banking paradigms, their fate and destiny can now be in their own hands.
Divine state banking paradigm.
These beaters out of here.
You can see the security guard being like, what the fuck's that guy doing?
In their own hands. Let's get these beaters out of here.
What's that guy doing over there?
Hey there, welcome everybody. This is the David Straight Freedom Mastermind. I am Adam, and Bo is here as well. We welcome you all to the Mastermind today. Today's subject, while you guys are all joining, is going to be power of attorney. Power of attorney is quite an important concept that we all need to go through and have our shit in order just in case shit happens. And most people don't, and everybody's left scrambling at some strange times in life. So I'm going to get into some stories on that. I'm going to get into my personal experience with that. And I've also put some documents there. There are more
They're
documents.
sure these guys don't understand how power of attorney works. That's what I'm concerned about, because this is a sovereign citizen channel. Power of attorney is a real thing that, like, is important to, like, you know, potentially have set up in case you're incapacitated or something happens to you. I'm worried they're gonna give real bad advice. I don't know if they know what they're talking about. Find something a little closer to the sob stuff.
Scott, I wanted to ask you, you told a fantastic story to me this week about the family court that just made itself up in Livingston Parish. Do you remember that
Oh, yes.
story? Would you tell
I
everyone
do.
how they just make things up?
Well, let me start off by saying that this is the exact reason why or one of the reasons why we do what we do.
Do they understand that all institutions are made up? They're institutions, they don't grow on trees.
These courts.
Yeah, Louisiana. For those that don't know, in Louisiana, instead of saying, like, counties, they call them parishes. So if you hear parish, it means county.
Systems, they're not courts of law, they're administrative. They're not legitimate courts, and they operate by virtue of contracts, meaning your driver's license, birth certificate, etc. So the court in Livingston Parish, they did not have a family court division in the courthouse there. So an attorney named Sherman Mack, he is a state representative also. He used his legislative powers to enact a bill and get it passed that brought in a family court division in Livingston Parish.
Okay, they're upset that they decided to add a family court to this particular county?
He then took one of his law partners, Jeff Oglesby, and put him in the running for the judge's seat, pumped all kind of money into his campaign, way more than he should, have, by the way, and got his former law partner elected to the bench. And then he has a 100% success rate in winning all of his cases in front of his former law partner, who helped him start that law firm 15 years ago. So I said that to say this. This is the type of corruption that we have to get out of our mainstream society, because these two men, they're not just, they're doing it for money, of course, but they're playing with the lives of children. And it doesn't matter if a man goes in there and he makes less than the woman, they're going to give him child support. They're always going to award child support because they get a part of it. And it's just, it's
Did he just imply that the judge personally gets a cut of the child support payment that one partner is paying to the other? They just imply that a judge is getting, like, a commission off of that?
corrupt. So
that's not true. That's not how anything works. What are you talking about?
That's one of the reasons why we do what we do, is fighting against stuff like that.
Like, are they just unable to understand why judges would find that they owe this money and they must think, oh, the judge must get something out of it? Like, no, asshole. Most people think you should, like, raise your kids or at least support them in some way, you asshole. Not a conspiracy.
Statutory regime that this country's
Looks like a court-ruled Klingon language was not copyrightable. Rad. I love that.
enslaved by, and we have to get back to common law.
Are these all people who lost their kids in family court? A lot of them are. That's a common way people get into sovereign citizen stuff, unfortunately, is they have some sort of interaction with CPS or family courts, and it doesn't go their way. They all of a sudden decide, I think all law is illegitimate.
Because common law is autonomous. It leads itself, guides itself. It cannot be manipulated. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with someone earlier today about the clerk's office that she went to. And before, one lady told her no. She went above the lady's head, got her release and everything filed. Well, now she's going back to file her conveyance. And they seemed a little ticked off that she went over their head. So they're giving her a problem, but it's going to go through. So we have to get it to where, back to common law, where these individuals, men and women that occupy these clerk's offices and these judgeships, they don't have the ability to use their personal opinion or their mood or oh, you made me mad last time, so I'm not going to file your stuff. And that's what we're pushing to do.
That happened today with I can't remember who. I think one of the Stevens. There's many. He went to file an unrebutted affidavit because he's trying to purge his license in Florida, and the clerk is refusing it as if they have a say in the matter.
Wait, what? Go back.
Women, and that's what we're pushing to do.
That happened today with I can't remember who. I think one of the Stevens. There's many. He went to file an unrebutted affidavit because he's trying to purge his license in Florida, and the clerk is refusing it as if they have a say in the matter.
Like, you trying to hand nonsense documents to someone, they don't have to take it. Trying to file a thing to rescind your driver's license the way you're describing isn't a thing.
This is insane. It's not even a courtroom something. It's like, these people didn't answer. This is an unrebutted affidavit. These are facts, and they're his to.
These are facts. The state didn't reply to my nonsense affidavit that was unsolicited. Therefore, I'm right. File this.
File. So,
like, where do you want them to file it? Like, there isn't a file for crazy people documents. Like, where do you want them to put it?
And I don't have time to look it up right now because I wasn't prepared for that, but they are just saying, oh, we're not going to take it, when Scott will tell you guys that the clerk's office is to, like, drop it in a box, they stamp it, and you pull it back out. You know, that's what they're supposed to do. And
Well,
Scott,
I
go
equate
ahead.
them to be a box just sitting on the street. You know, you walk by and drop a paper in a box. The box doesn't spit the paper out because it doesn't like it. And I have it on good authority where I have been in a meeting with the elected official in a town of 1 million people, and we were having problems a while back, and he slid his campaign bumper sticker across the table. He said, Scott, you can walk into any one of my offices and file that. They cannot reject anything you want to file. So this is their obligation, is there to file and memorialize whatever you bring in. If you're filing something that's fraudulent, they say, well, then proper due course will happen. If you're filing something that the bank doesn't like, of course we all do, it's the bank's obligation to then come in and go, wait a minute, they didn't have a right to do that. Then they can go to a state judge and try to overturn it. So it should not be the way it is now, where you have to fight to get something filed, but a bank can walk in there with a picture of Mickey Mouse's tennis shoes and file it and say, this proves I have a lien against the house. And the clerk's all too.
The thing is, I think there's a trust relationship there where they're at least assuming the bank has done their due diligence because they're open to pretty severe litigation in the case where they do file something frivolously. As an individual crackpot, you don't necessarily have that social concern stopping you in mitigating your actions, right? Because you're delusional and don't understand the risk you're putting yourself in by filing fraudulent things. That's the difference.
Happy to take it.
None of their business. None of their.
Just a Peach says, clerks have rules to how to file things correctly. The bank has a lawyer do it, so not Mickey Mouse.
Business.
Yeah. Then they always play Thunderstruck. Don't know why. Not the best ACD. Thunder.
What's up, folks? So here's an update. Got arrested.
This is that guy who got his Lamborghini impounded.
For a bogus-ass warrant. I was released 2 to 3 hours later. The entire time I kept saying I'm only here under threat, duress, and coercion. I wouldn't even take steps or do anything without it being clearly established for any cameras or body cams or personnel that I was only proceeding under threat, duress, and coercion. I was not consenting to that. Throughout the entire process, that's all I was saying. When I got there, they tried to force me to sign some tickets. I signed reserving my rights on one, of which some guy named Robert Gell decided to literally cross out UCC 1308.
Yeah, because that's not a signature. You're signing nonsense. You're supposed to sign your name.
On my signature, that's committing fraud.
It's not.
He literally altered my signature. and then bum rushed me around the table upon release when I didn't want to simply sign the ticket how he wanted me to sign it. I said, no matter what you do or no matter what you say, I'm going to sign this ticket under threat, duress, and coercion. And he did everything in his power to try and prevent it. But one thing I did is I signed UCC 1308 prior to my name and put under duress. So that's a whole nother topic. Long story short, car was impounded, got it back same day. No, I did not register the car to get it back. Shit still is not registered. I'm still pushing private plates. I'm going to have the right to ignore their nonsensical laws.
Wonder how much he spent to get it out.
With impunity. That shit does not apply to me. I'm not within their jurisdiction, nor have I agreed to contract with these bozos. And that's going to stay the same. It's not going to change. So I got my car back same day. Now these guys are looking at $1 trillion lawsuit.
$1 trillion. No one has won $1 trillion ever in anything. No single individual that we know of has $1 trillion. Maybe Vladimir Putin, if you want to argue certain things.
Commenced an administrative process, sent them an affidavit of which they need to rebut. If they don't rebut,
depends on if you want to consider dictators to be in personal possession of the wealth that they have, but you like not really. So
affidavit, everything in the affidavit is deemed to be true and accepted and admitted. That also includes them straight up agreeing that they owe me $1 trillion for the itemized damages and violations of the countless laws that they violated.
I would love to see you itemize $1 trillion in damages. How in the world are you going to try and itemize and justify that? You're not even talking punitive. You're talking like compensatory damages? That means, to be clear, that means he has to prove if it were not for the actions of the officers, he would have made $1 trillion. That's what damages is like restitution, meaning at some point, he would have had to have made $1 trillion and was prevented from doing so in some way by these officers.
That's not me agreeing to
like,
that.
That's what damages is.
Them
if you just wanted to say, oh, we're going to try to, it's a big number to get you to stop doing it, that would be punitive. That would be punitive.
Considering and agreeing to that per contract law. And that's how it works. Just like the bozos didn't know simple California Code Section 260 says only commercial vehicles are required to be registered, well, they're going to learn contract law.
States have limits on damages. They may. I don't know this particular state's. I don't even remember what state this was, to be honest.
They're going to lose everything. And that's how it's going to go. So they have 3 days. If they don't respond, we'll send a notice of default. Then a notice of default and opportunity to cure. Then an affidavit, certificate of non-response, and lien authorization.
The biggest payout ever, at least in the U.S. court system, was the tobacco master settlement of 1998, over $206 billion over 25 years. Jesus.
And then we file a federal lawsuit with all said affidavits as evidence. Collateral estoppel, stare decisis, which means you can't talk about it. They're barred from even arguing this again.
California.
And then we simply go.
I don't know the like punitive damages or any sort of damages cap, or rather, I don't know any sort of punitive cap in California, but I don't know.
For summary judgment,
like it may exist
as a matter of law for the $1 trillion, and that's it. $1 trillion judgment. Locked in, donezo, can't talk about it anymore. You agreed to it. You had your chance to talk about it. Now here we are. Or they settle out of court. We'll see which one they do. But here, I want to make this very, very, very clear. It is not about the money in any way, shape, or form. It is not.
And why are you asking for $1 trillion money?
About the money. I'm doing very well. I wasn't driving a Honda Civic. I was driving a Lamborghini. This paid off. I live in $1 million house. I haven't worked a job in over a decade.
$1 million house in California isn't that impressive. That's just like a house. That's just like a house, right? Like
businesses that I own, people that are applying to work there, and I don't even have time to interview people to be employees. I have orders that I have to ship for other businesses that haven't been shipped, and I have product just sitting in garages because I'm so busy and I have so much stuff going on. We have more than enough money, and everything is being discharged. Everything. I discharge all my bills. So it's not about the—
Oh, that's not good. So he is alleging that he's committing fraud and not paying his bills in a sovereign citizen way. That's not good.
The money at all. I even talked to my wife, Donna Bell. It's not about the money to her either. It's about change. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of these shady ass cops. I'm tired of these shady ass cops doing whatever they want, disregarding the law, not caring that they don't know the law, and doing whatever they want. You're gonna drag me out of my vehicle because I don't want to give you an ID when I'm not even supposed to be pulled over right now. You're committing a felony just by turning on your
IRS
lights
needs to look at that business, yeah.
with no actual emergency and pulling over someone driving in a privately marked automobile. So I'm about change. And to fully highlight how much change I am, that $1 trillion that I'm going after, I'm gonna donate the entire amount to nothing but charity causes.
I'm gonna be honest, if you had $1 trillion that you just started handing out, you're gonna start collapsing economies like Mansa Musa. Like you can't do that. That's not, you cannot throw an extra $1 trillion into the economy and allocate it like that and expect it to not fuck things. Gillis Filler says, look, Lambo Libertarian, you're losing. The law of the land is lucid here. Love it or leave it. Licenses and registration are limited by driving literacy and lots of little fees. And I'm running out of L words to alliterate.
Every single dollar that I win from this case, I'm donating to charity. If you have a charity, you have a business idea, you just want some money, let me know. And once I finalize this lawsuit, if it's worthy enough, we'll sit down and you're good to go. That's how dedicated I am to change. I don't care about the money. It's not about the $1 trillion. It's about these garbage cops getting taken off the street. Because I even have people commenting on the video saying, oh, that guy gave me a ticket before and he was rude. Yeah, you shouldn't be pulling your gun out on somebody just because you feel like it, because you're nervous, because they're saying shit you don't like. These cops need to go. So it's not about the money. It's all going to charity.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
I think I played the first one of that Dillis Filler. What was it called? Like My Time in Portia or something? That's like a... Or that one.
I'll even settle prior to. And the settlement will be something like...
Oh, he'll even settle. Wink, wink, wink. I see where he's going with this. Okay, he's acting all confident and saying it's $1 trillion so he can reasonably go to the table and get the settlement down to something more reasonable, like $500,000 or $500 million or something.
Instead of $1 trillion, you can fire these cops. Fire all the cops.
Okay, yeah, he's absolutely trying to strong arm, but he's doing a bad job. Okay.
That were involved in this, and you can donate like $1 million, $10 million to a charity or something like that, and I'll be satisfied with that.
Wow, you went from $1 trillion down to a million or 10 million? Wow. Wow, that's actually really bad negotiation skills. Imagine if I said, hey, I'll buy that from you for $1,000. And you go, nah, and I go, okay, how about 3 cents? Like, that's basically what he did. He just dropped so... The difference between $1 million and $1 trillion is $1 trillion, give or take.
I don't care about the money. I care about the points that need to be proven here and the people that need to actually do the right thing. So remember that. It is not about the money. I'm not looking for attention. I've already won. I don't work a job. I don't need money. It's about the change. I have children, and my kids are not going to inherit some garbage-ass world where they can't even drive around the corner to go to the post office or the grocery store without being stalked through the neighborhood by some shady-ass fucking stormtrooper-looking Riverside Sheriff PD that are trigger-happy.
Hey man, like, I get it. Cops fucking suck, especially when you're, like, a minority. I understand that. But you need a driver's license and you need to have your car registered. Pretty simple.
Dear Californians, nationals/non-citizen nationals.
All right, y'all. So you guys keep asking me if I got the Lambo back. I'm gonna put this shit to rest because I see people have cognitive dissonance and they're
No, I believe he got it
borderline
back.
stupid.
He's got enough money, clearly, where he can pay fines and stuff. I am surprised they let him get it out without registering it, which he claims. You're really not supposed to be able to pull it out unless it's registered. But it's possible they just weren't paying attention. Didn't, you know, cross the T's, dot the I's.
One of those.
Or maybe he did get it registered and he's just lying to make himself look like he was right all along. I don't know.
I gotta see it to believe it because they can't use all their brain cells. So, hold on. What's today's date? About to hit the gym.
There are 1 million millions in a trillion.
is.
A lot of millions.
January 6th. It's early in the morning. About to get the workout in.
There's his Lamborghini. But where are your
Are we
bookshelves, sir? I was told you're supposed to keep bookshelves next to your Lamborghinis.
Hey, Porsche. Shit, I don't even know when the last time we drove that now. But yeah. Are we done, y'all? Come on, man. If you think that these cops
Maybe he had his wife do it. Possible. I don't know.
know what they're talking about, or if you think these cops did the right thing, you're just a moron. It's real simple. They dragged me out the car, falsely arrested me, imprisoned me with a bogus-ass warrant. Now, via administrative process, they have to respond to my affidavit. They'll have to rebut it point for point. And if they don't rebut it, every single fact, allegation, claim in there is deemed to be true, admitted, and the truth. And in the affidavit, it includes that they committed fraud, treason, extortion,
Treason?
coercion.
Your affidavit said they committed treason?
They unlawfully imprisoned me. They seized my vehicle. They violated my rights. The list goes on. So they don't respond to the affidavit point by point. It's all true. And if it's true that they committed felonies, violated my rights, and have actually agreed to paying me and owing me $1 trillion, and they
I don't think they did.
agreed by not responding to this binding contract and affidavit,
Again, this silence is consent contract law the sovereign citizens seem to believe in is certainly something, isn't it?
that they owe me this money, and that they've committed all of these felony crimes that equate to like 10, 20, 30, 40 years in jail, then that means that's what
Like, if
they-
this is how things work, why wouldn't everyone just send an affidavit to Bill Gates saying they owe him $1 million? You know what I mean? Like, if this was how the world worked, it wouldn't function. Let's put it that way.
owe me, and that's what they're guilty of.
Like, their whole thing, so much of the sovereign citizen mythology is built around this idealization of a conscionable contract, and yet they'll turn around and they'll do this and be like, no. Only contracts that I, don't want to be in are need to be conscionable. Every other contract is just, you just got to listen to me and you got to respond, and if you don't, I win.
Law, people. Contract is law. Why are you losing your rights? Because you've contracted with the government by way of a driver's license or a passport. You've given up your right to drive. Your right to travel for a privilege of driving. Traveling.
I think
two different
software
words.
licenses and terms of service have poisoned how people think of contracts. Yeah, I could see that. It being viewed as a more passive thing just by engaging in the activity.
It's real straightforward. Privilege, right. Two completely different words. But at any rate, yes, I have the Lambo. Come on, this must be like a 10-year-old asking me this dumbass question. Did you get your Lambo back? Like I didn't put this in a video already. Yes, still in my Big ass house.
That's great, man. Makes you
Still
seem
got
like a douchebag for not paying for car registration.
my Lambo, but you know, haters will hate and dumbasses will believe whatever they want to believe. But stay tuned. I promise you, I'm taking this shit all the way.
I'm really interested to hear how all this shit goes, because, like, it's not going to go anywhere, but it seems like he has enough resources where he could actually waste the court's time.
All right, so here's an update. Update on the 1 trillion right to travel lawsuit. Real quick update. TikTok took my other video sound off because I was getting in Mike's behind a little bit too much. Since we got some bozo named Law Talks with Mike that wants to act like a
Oh, it's Law Talk with Mike talking about this. Check that out.
treasonous traitor. Either that or he's the worst attorney I've ever heard of in my life because he's trying to pretend that he doesn't understand that everything is
Doesn't look like that big of a house. For California, it's not bad, depending on the area. Peoplord says, is this the same legal mechanism that lets Disney kill your family members because you have Disney Plus?
commercial, that there's public and private law, that literally Clearfield Doctrine clearly establishes that everything is commercial, and ends legis, you name it. Literal law stipulates that this is
literal law, guys.
Commercial in the public. There's public law and there's private law. So to clearly articulate how exactly we're going to get this to go for the
There
people
isn't. There aren't private law convictions in the United States for criminal stuff. There's civil litigation, but there isn't private criminal prosecution in the United States. Some countries, I do think, have that.
giving me unsolicited advice as if I asked for it, or as if you guys are even doing this or know how to do it. I appreciate the input, but y'all need to chill out a little bit. There's levels to this. There's a hierarchy for a reason. If you ain't out here doing it, give me your little input, but don't come over here trying to teach me as you are a full-time truck driver. That's just ridiculous. Please, come on.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck this guy shitting on working people, telling people, oh, there's a reason there's a hierarchy and you're at the bottom of it. Fucking shitting on truck drivers. What do you do, asshole? Come on.
At any rate, to address the straight points, everything is commercial. A citation is
Nemesaur, thank you so much for gifting 20 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you much.
a contract. Period. If you conditionally accept that contract and you set new terms in that conditional acceptance per UCC 2-202.
He really is just a shitty rich person. It's making me wonder if he's like a Nepo baby. Like, did he like inherit a trust or like an act, like not a Sob SDK trust, but like, is he like a trust fund baby and he just really doesn't know what the real world is like? Like, I'm trying to figure out this personality and how he made money. Because this is not a personality that it seems like you would make money unless you already had a bunch of money, or you can afford to fail a bunch of times because your parents are rich. That's the vibe I get.
Which clearly lines up with the parole evidence and intrinsic rule as well. And what is this guy talking about? UCC 1-103 clearly says that everything functions around contract law, fraud, estoppel, contract law, commerce. So
yeah, contract law has to deal with that, and like commerce has to deal with commerce law. It has nothing to do with criminal action.
This guy Mike is either, like I said, the worst possible attorney, or this guy has no idea what he's talking about. But I'm gonna guess that he
said he lived in $1 million home, not that he owned it. I didn't notice that. Yeah, it could be a parents bought him a house thing, or maybe his parents rent out places and they're letting him stay in one of their places. Who knows?
POS, and he's literally lying to people.
No, the child support guy was a different guy.
About people. He doesn't care to tell.
This guy has kids that he's still, I believe he's still with his partner and like has the kids.
Truth, because he's an attorney, and so he built his career off of this. He doesn't want it to tear down, or his ego's so big that he can't just admit that he's wrong. One way or another, that guy has no idea what he's talking about. Everything is commercial, contract law, and
It's not. That's just like objectively untrue. And you know, Mike is an actual lawyer. Like, I do this for fun, so obviously you shouldn't listen to me for legal advice. But Mike's an actual lawyer, you know? I don't know all his opinions, but I would tend to trust him on matters of the law.
Public people, Clearfield Doctrine. I mean, if you conditionally accept a citation, which is a contract, a commercial contract,
Not a citation is not a contract. It is a citation. It's a ticket. You gotta pay it.
Then you literally have changed those terms, if you change them, and you've presented a binding counter offer. They can't just ignore that. If they do, then they do what's called...
They can. It's not a contract. There's no counteroffer. It's the government, the state, that has a monopoly on violence telling you, you did a bad. Now you pay this ticket, or you go to court and fight it. Those are your options. That's it. End of. There's no more discussion to be had.
Silent acquiescence. Silent acquiescence, tacit agreement, tacit procuration. Res judicata, stare decisis, collateral estoppel. They're barred from talking about it again. The amount doesn't matter. If I put in a contract that you owe me $1 million, 100 million, 1 trillion, because you've committed all said acts, and you literally say nothing, and all you do is agree to it, and you remain silent, and you silently acquiesce into it, and you tacitly agree, thus tacit procuration, that means you have agreed to the contract. What was...
Imagine how insane this world would be where everyone can just send random letters to a bunch of people and hope one of them doesn't respond, so you can just take their money. Like, it's insane. Like, the world he thinks we live in.
Was the contract initially? It was the citation. That citation was conditionally accepted and presented back to you by way of registered mail, mailbox, postal roll. That means you accepted that contract when I put it in the mail.
That's not a conscionable contract. You're not... What are you talking about?
That's it. Conditional acceptance, which is binding. In the mail, you accepted it once.
Conditional acceptance is binding? What does conditional mean to you?
Put it in the mail, and it's all literally backed by UCC 1103, 2-202, 2-204, 2-206, offer and acceptance. It's all literally right there. So, Wallach Mike, he's a traitor, or he has no idea what he's talking about.
He's a lawyer!
I'll debate that guy any day. Tell him to send me some documents so I can sue him for slander and defamation, since he wants to mislabel me as a sovereign citizen in his
True
little
about
videos.
the consideration thing as well.
Mike, you're a joke, my dude. But hey, as I said, all Mike followers and anybody that thinks that guy is actually saying something credible, go ask him. Is a commercial contract a citation? And is a citation a commercial contract?
No!
Ask him if the United States, I didn't say United States of America as in the 50 United States, but the United States. Ask him if that's a federal corporation. Ask him if Clearfield Doctrine clearly shows this. All right, y'all. I already told you.
This guy's fascinating.
Loans?
Like, unironically, I'm kind of hilariously fascinated. Huh.
All right, let's jump into another deep dive. This time we're looking at a legal case that's got people talking about a Judge Roy K. Altman.
This is an AI voice.
And a ruling of his that's making some waves. It's all about what happens when a judge seems to, well, almost challenge the laws that define our money.
Yeah, it definitely raises some pretty big questions about the U.S. financial system.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
the case itself was remanded back to state court, which, you know, that happens.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with manufactured consent? I'm sorry, I'm just horrified. Keeping in mind manufactured consent as a concept, the idea of creating entire fake podcast conversations between characters you've invented in order
Loans,
to form
fraud, and the color
a
of
conversation to rhetorically put forward the beliefs you want. I hate it. I hate it more than anything in the world. Our system of communication is about to break down in ways you cannot understand, chat. We've basically unleashed a virus into our intellectual miasma of language and speech. And it's gonna be bad.
Welcome to the deep dive. So you're saying just by dropping this document in the mail, he thinks he can... Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a case that really has everyone talking.
Yeah.
It's the intersection of personal rights and legal strategy and what happens when they collide
Right.
out on the open road.
Yeah.
You might have heard about Kevin Walker.
Yes.
He's making headlines, filing a $1 trillion lawsuit.
Wow.
Again, he wrote this, or at least had AI write it. This is his channel from his website. And he made this like it's a podcast with just two random people being like, wow, this guy's really making headlines. You wrote this, you psycho! You fucking wrote this and made it! This is insane! This is insane! Oh.
Wow.
Against the Riverside County Sheriff and several others.
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion with
You made a fake podcast to talk about how cool you are? You know what an asshole that makes you?
That's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah.
He's claiming they violated his right to travel.
Mandrake POE says, Lambo guy cited California Vehicle Code Section 260, which defines commercial vehicle as a type of motor vehicle, while failing to cite Section 415, which defines motor vehicle, and Section 12.12500, which states in part, a person may not drive a motor vehicle upon a highway unless a person then holds a valid driver's license under this code, except those persons who are expressly exempt. Yeah, they do that all the time. They'll cite the wrong code or definitions from a code that has nothing to do with what they're talking about, and they assume that that definition is universal and not code specific. Fucks them up. Algid Undying says, LARPing was a lot more fun when I was playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay.
By requiring him to have a driver's license, which he argues only
It was made with this. Notebook LM now lets you listen to a conversation about your sources. We built Notebook LM. Okay. Upload your sources, becomes an expert, grounding its response in your material with citations and relevant quotes. Yikes. Hate this crap. Glad I was able to clock that, though. But that go.
applies to commercial drivers.
Interesting.
He sees himself as just a regular person traveling in his private car and believes that he's exempt from those rules.
Interesting take.
I was wondering, Baja, because it's like exactly what they described.
I'm curious to hear more about the legal basis for this claim.
Okay.
Where does he even begin to build a case for this?
Well, Walker's argument centers around the right to travel as a fundamental right.
Okay.
Not a privilege granted by the government.
So there's actual legal precedent.
Oh, yeah.
For this.
Absolutely.
What kind of...
Oh my god, this is so bad. This kind of technology is going to destroy everyone and everything. I'm kind of having a not good time here, chat. This is not good. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of I'm catastrophizing a million different reasons this is a terrible idea as a technology all at once. And all of the ways that this is going to negatively affect groups of people. I want to point out that the book that I first read... Hold on, where is it? There's an old book about sociology called The Crowd. And the author of that book spoke with a way that feels really derisive of large groups of people. And when I first read that, I was like, holy shit, why does this person hate groups of people so much? From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry for not understanding. Let me find this book. I can't find it. But whoever wrote The Crowd, I get it. Anyway, so that's the Sovereign Citizen stream. I have to go catastrophize about all the ways that our interconnected networks of information sharing are about to be irrevocably destroyed, and trust in all information is about to become worthless. And also I have some leftover pizza I need to go eat, so I'm probably going to do that. All right, let's see. See me tinfoil Tuesday? Yeah, most likely. Love you too, Mr. Blast. 6,000 years of human civilization or so wasn't so bad. I guess that's true. We don't really have a leaderboard. Maybe there's some people in the Andromeda galaxy that, like, died after, like, 2,000 years. Or, like, a forest planet where they invented fire and everything went up. And that's all they got. Alright, anyway, I have, like I said, I have, electrolysis tomorrow, so I probably won't be streaming, but I will be back for the rest of the week, and we'll be doing longer streams, I think, for the next week, because, like I said, I don't work other than this. I don't have to go into work, so I just have to do this all week, along with the stuff on my list. So we'll be doing probably some longer streams in the next week. Maisie got front page? That's cool. I need to apply for front page.
Spawn a few bears.
I'm telling you. Because I've gotten an offer to apply for it before, and I just never have. Because I'm scared of attention. Alright. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you soon. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Have a good night.